Navi's not that bad. Navi's not that bad. I like that it's short for navigation. It's nice.
How long did it take you to realize it was short for navigation?
Apparently 30 years.
I'd say I was a full-fledged adult for sure, but
Incredible.
Welcome back to another episode of the Games Gone By podcast. It is May 2nd, 2026, at the time of this recording. I'm your host, Adam, and join with me, as always, the gaming expert and enthusiast, Austin, and back again today, the hero of time, the boy without a fairy himself, Jeff. Boys, are you guys ready to talk about what many consider to be the greatest game of all time, Zelda, the Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Gotta give it its full title.
Right.
It's worthy.
That's right. Say her name right.
I am one of those people who believes it is the greatest game of all time. A lot of that is nostalgia based, but I think even playing it here, it holds up in a lot of ways.
It does. I will say, it has been a long time since I've played this. I played it several times when it came out. Austin, I don't remember. I guess we should look up when the Sega Dreamcast came out, because that's when I was forced to bequeath upon you my N64. So that would have been about the last time I played this game, somewhere between 2001 and 1998. But I was really surprised how much of it came back to me, and so clearly. And it was hard, at some points I was trying to write down, is this game really good at guiding you to the next thing? Or do I just have this, core memory from when I'm 9 that's unlocked that I remembered that, you had to do this and that?
I do think it's a little bit of both, because, picking this game back up, it does all immediately, come back to you, and there are plenty of occasions where I'm like, how did I figure this out the first time? I might have read the game guide, I don't know.
I definitely... So, just for clarity's sake, me and Adam both played the 3DS, remake of this game for this run. It's like a remaster more than a remake, I guess. But that version of the game, I think, has a couple tweaks, but just immediately, walking out of the, treehouse that you start in, I'm immediately like, okay, I gotta go this way, go here. I knew, exactly what to do, where to go right away. I was like, this just feels comfortable, you know?
Do you ever, sort of lazily go through the beginning pretending like you don't know where to go because you just want to kind of experience the newness of it again? I do that most of the times I pick this game back up.
It's just so hard for me because it's so natural. I'm like, I just gotta go here, then I gotta do this, then I gotta jump over
gotta
these
get the
things
sword,
get some rupees, get the shield, and it's perfect, you know?
I was making it a point to try to talk to everyone, and eventually, halfway through the game, I kind of gave up on this quest. But in the beginning, I was talking to every NPC and reading every sign. That's when I was like, oh shit, the jump slash does double damage? Did 8-year-old me know that? Because I don't think I ever used it. Whereas now, brother, that just breaks this game, as it turns out, especially once you get the Master Sword. Everything dies in 2 cycles of boss mechanics. So, but it's just it's amazing how much was there that I remembered and how much I'm like, did I ever even know? So yeah, 1998 is when this game released. I was trying to think what else came out in 1998 in all media, because to me, I have such a foggy memory of I can tell you everything that came out between the years of 1992 and 2005, but when in that time span, it's it's all a big blur, right? So 1998, other games at the time: Half-Life, Metal Gear Solid, StarCraft, Resident Evil 2, Baldur's Gate. All of that sounds right to me. Most of those kind of feel like they came out around that time. I remember trading burned CDs of StarCraft in middle school, so that was still popular a few games later. But then movies: Saving Private Ryan, Mulan, and Armageddon. I for some reason thought Mulan was much more recent than 1998, but I guess I'm wrong about that.
So that is a childhood movie for sure.
I feel I honestly feel like Saving Private Ryan should be early 2000s too. I didn't watch it as a kid, right? I mean, I wasn't watching Saving Private Ryan when I was literally 3, but it just feels like a later movie.
That is the funny part of trying to set the cultural context for y'all here, is that movie is certainly not in the same category as The Legend of Zelda.
Right.
And it's funny to see sort of the adult cross-section when we were all definitely playing this as a kid, and it was certainly marketed to children. I don't know, did Nintendo have an adult fan base in 1998? They must have.
I mean, in the sense that for the longest time, the Nintendo was the console, right? So I'm sure there were adults playing the games. But I mean, what was the mature rating even a thing by 1998? Like, I don't remember.
That that would have come around with Mortal Kombat, right?
Okay, yeah, you're
So
right. Oh, look at this
yeah, so
gaming expert, enthusiast, and historian right here.
yes, I mean, hey, like that the court case setting the ESRB into motion. Yeah, so it would have been out by this point. I think Ocarina was E10, so it was very like, I still remember my golden cartridge for Majora's Mask. Like all the, I didn't have the gold cartridge for Ocarina. I had the regular cartridge. Well, I guess you did because you gave it to me. But
I was forced to give it to you.
I appreciate it.
Was there a gold Ocarina of Time cartridge? Because I've also only seen the Majora's Mask gold and like holographic. I think the icon is on there.
I believe there was a gold for Ocarina. I know that was a red Spider-Man cartridge because I remember that one fondly too. I love that. Like, you don't see that in the modern day. I don't know how you would really do it, but like everything is very like sleek and just like we're going for a very uniform look. Whereas like in 64 era, it was just like we're throwing weird shit out there. All your controllers were different colors. I had like a blue controller. There was all the Mad
Was Donkey
Cats,
Kong
like,
64 yellow? Maybe something was yellow. I swear.
It's at least that. Maybe a couple other games were yellow. I don't know if GoldenEye was a different color, but
well, if it wasn't gold, I feel like they fucked that one up too.
Right? What a wasted opportunity. But there's just so much like cool aesthetic choices back in the day that don't happen anymore. We're just reminiscing about 1998 now.
You can't. I mean, you can't color a digital download, right?
Right. It's like I haven't bought physical media in so long. But no, it's funny, Austin. You said, this, Saving Private Ryan. That feels like it could have been 2000s. The songs, though, the songs that are popular in 1998, squarely 90s. No confusion about when the hell "Getting Jiggy with It" by Will Smith came out. That is so obviously 1990 something. No one would make that mistake. Or "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing" from Aerosmith. Or "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion, because Titanic the year before, right? Well, enough about things that are not video games. After all, this is Games Gone By. So let's talk a little bit about sort of the history and development of Ocarina of Time. Because to our younger listeners out there, you guys might not really understand that, like, the N64 was the first era where 3D was starting to become a thing in consoles. PC had been flirting with it for a while, but it had kind of its own way of doing it. And then even a game like, say, Resident Evil 1, which is like sort of 3D in a way, those games all relied on these pre-rendered backgrounds, right? So you'd have these, like, for the time, very well detailed and beautiful like backgrounds, but it was just static images, and then you had these polygonal figures like moving over the top of it, which really sets Ocarina of Time apart. Is like, just like Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie, that's not what's going on. These are fully 3D models that are being rendered as your camera spins them on the screen. All of that is like, I mean, there may be a couple, right? If you think about maybe the Temple of Time, I don't know if that's maybe like a pre-rendered thing in the back. There's probably like a few elements of it here and there. But for the most part, like when you're out in the world, I mean, these are models that are appearing on your screen.
Yeah. I mean, the original game, like your treehouse and some of the other huts, like in the
Kakariko village?
Yeah, there we go. I was going to say Kakariko, the forest, right?
Different village.
Yes, not the village, but the forest. Those were definitely like pre-rendered, and you're moving your character across them. Which,
I was about to say, a lot of the houses, I think, have like all the backgrounds and stuff feel pre-rendered.
Yeah, the interiors there.
Right, really detailed, like cool interiors, but I think they, at least like the designs on the walls and stuff, appear to be all pre-rendered.
It was aesthetically very different in a very noticeable way, and I don't know. I can't decide if that was cool or not. To me, that's just like a very obvious and normal thing, because Ocarina of Time was a game I played so young. So I don't know.
No, you guys are right. There is a little more of it that I remember, but it is kind of a mix. But it's like there were still objects in the foreground, though. I mean, there's like fences you can jump over in the middle of the field, right? Yeah. Where you go play like Final Fantasy VII, like, no, the only polygonal things in that are the characters on the screen. I mean, literally it, nothing else.
Correct.
Right?
So I was about to say, like, if you compare it to the early PS1, like Final Fantasies, that was going to be my comparison of like, it's such a different dynamic that you're getting with Ocarina, and the way that you can interact with so many things in the world. I mean, picking up all the rocks, throwing them around and stuff, like all of that existing in a 3D space is really cool.
Yeah, it's definitely an artful blend of like different technologies, which is another reason I think this game is impactful. Is like Nintendo is good at blending sort of the evolution of games, I think. And I think the Zelda series really nails that.
It really does. And it's a matter too of like, not only do they have to figure it out artistically, how is this going to work, but just mechanically. I mean, Z targeting, right? This is essentially still what we do today. I mean, every 3D action game, for the most part, unless it's like a Austin, I don't know if there's like a particular genre of action game. I'm thinking of like DMC, Devil May Cry.
Yeah,
where
like
it's kind of
stylish action.
where it's like zoomed out and it's kind of a set view as you're doing it instead of like behind the character. But other than that particular type of game, almost every action game now, like you have to have a lock on because that's what we learned in 1998 with Zelda.
Right.
Every game that tried to do it without it kind of sucked. So I mean, that's really influential, and that's really fascinating to me that that's still kind of the standard for how you approach a like 3D action game.
Yeah, it's really insane how much Ocarina, I think, sets the standard for all action games going forward, and like every game that follows is using something that it has set up foundationally, and we're still Zelda games are using the same foundation as Ocarina, but so are Darksiders and even
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls. Yeah, like all these games are just using a foundation that Ocarina set up that I think is so impressive that this game has that legacy still to this day.
It's funny you mentioned that. Friend of the show, Andy, longtime fans might recognize him from the Bachelor Party episode. But I was talking to him about this game, and he actually first played this in 2016, which was after Dark Souls came out. And he said it was very interesting because this game made him think like, oh, that's where those games learned how to do this combat from, which is not something that had ever really crossed my mind. But then as soon as I read that, I was like, oh, yeah, I guess they kind of did, especially this time around. As an adult with like 30 years of gaming experience, I'm not just hiding behind my Hylian shield the entire game. I'm actually doing like the side steps and the jump slashes and stuff. I was like, no, actually, I really get where he's coming from with this. Like, it's just this really methodical, like, wait and bide your time and like, don't, it's a lot more forgiving than a game like Dark Souls for sure. But like the idea being that it's like the one-on-one duels, and that's what all these interviews with the old developers in this game were saying. Is like we were studying these old samurai movies and stuff. At some point, there was an iteration of this that was like first person because they were just trying to figure out how do we do combat in 3D space because no one had really done it quite like this on a console before. Zelda certainly had it, right? The Zelda before this was Link to the Past. The one before that was Zelda 2, which was like a 2D jumping side scroller kind of game.
Right.
So brand new territory for the franchise and console gaming.
I'm sorry, did you just call Ocarina of Time a Souls-like? Is that...
No, I called Souls games an Ocarina-like, is what...
okay.
The true nature of Dark Souls revealed here on the Games Club by podcast. Ocarina-likes.
Look, I'm just saying, why play Elden Ring when you could play Ocarina of Time? Like, I don't...
You'll have a better time.
I'm not arguing.
No, I think it's really impressive that, yes, the combat at its core is pretty simple, but I think it's like a puzzle, right? It's like kind of a dynamic where you're trying to find the openings, you're waiting for an enemy to attack, you dodge, you attack. A lot of enemies, only certain things will hurt them, like the little laser eye bomb guys. They'll shoot lasers at you, and the only way to stop them is to drop a bomb by it, or whatever. So it's like you have to treat each encounter as sort of a puzzle or an experiment of like, how am I going to address this foe? And that's what Dark Souls does now. It's way harder and I think way more annoying, but Ocarina at its core, right? It sets the foundation for all future action games of the sort in that kind of puzzle dynamic way.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm just trying to come to terms with like some of my favorite parts of Ocarina are those one-on-one like enemy duels. Like I love the Forest Temple mostly for fighting the sword and shield skeletal monsters because you're just like, yeah, like fucking come at me. I'm a brand new adult, and I'm gonna stab you through the heart.
Sword and shield, and we're ready to go.
Yeah. The lizard monsters as a child. Now those were different. Those did also annoy the hell out of me. Or the
ones like in Dodongo Caverns.
Yes,
the
exactly.
Lizalfos.
Yeah, the Lizalfos.
Of course, you know what they're called. But
that's and the last one that is just permanently burned into my mind are the Gerudo guards. The girls with the dual twin scythe blades, which happens at the end of the game, and I just fucking love that. It's just so good. One-on-one samurai duels.
It's interesting you mentioned the puzzle-like element of it, Austin, because not only is the combat puzzle-like, but this game really, Link to the Past definitely had puzzles in their dungeons, but I think this game kind of cranks that up a whole another notch, and it's something that, like, we're comparing this to more modern action games. Most modern action games do not care for that anymore. Like, there are no, I'm not gonna say there's none, because I'm sure some nerd will get on here and be like, Dark Souls actually has like a puzzle for the lore or whatever. But, you're not solving puzzles in the sort of contained areas the same way in those games as you are in this. And I really enjoyed that aspect of this. And it's again where like you're playing this as an adult. You've played other games for 30 years. No, none of them were that difficult, of course. But like as a child, that was really stimulating to me. Figuring, especially like the Forest Temple, like recognizing for the first time, oh my god, I have to shoot this new bow that I just got at those paintings of those ghosts so that they'll come out and fight me. And then there's the one where there's like the blocks with the picture on it that you have to arrange to get that ghost to pop out, and then just keeping track of the 3D space that is this dungeon so I can get back to this keyhole that I found. And that's like a whole level of stuff that isn't really quite going on in a lot of other games at this time. I mean, even something like Mario 64 or Banjo Kazooie, there's like an element to that, but since you don't have the same kind of combat and you don't have the new items that you're unlocking every dungeon, it's not quite the same thing to me. And I just really think that all comes together in this game like really, really well.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time is on a different level compared to other things just at the time. I was going to say in the same genre, but it's like not even a genre thing, right? It is a game with a level of like variety and complexity that feels unseen before, at least in my head.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think, you have stuff like Mario 64 or, I don't even know what else. I'm looking at this list of other games that you had typed out, and like, maybe like Metal Gear Solid was introducing some of the same types of complexity, but I feel like Ocarina is so diverse. There's so much going on in it, so many different areas and like landscapes and different ways, different tools that you're using to interact with the world and the puzzles. And I found it really interesting this time going around that so many of the puzzles felt navigational in context. Like, it's always like, here's this door that's over here. How do I get to that door? Like, where
Right.
do I have to go? What item do I have to use? Whether it's like the hook shot or, oh, I have to flip this switch over here that unlocks that door so I can get through there to go there. Like it felt so it was very natural to figure out all these puzzles in a lot of ways that I was surprised by. And part of that is just my memory of like I've done it a dozen times, so it's all just in there. But so much of it felt like, okay, it makes sense that I would hit this thing and then that would open that because that's what it did earlier in the game. So it's like every temple builds on the things that you had before.
And I think like what really helps bring together like the variety of puzzles and just logic in general is the equipment in this game. Like right from the very beginning, you're getting sticks and nuts and a slingshot all to use in the first dungeon, and you've got the C buttons in the original game as like the hotkeys to use all these different items. In my head, the Zelda the franchise is like one of very few that so effectively uses all the different equipment in these puzzles, and it really starts from the very beginning in the very first dungeon.
Hey, listen. So
I forgot about Navi. All right, that's the one part of this game I've burned from my brain.
no, I'm gonna have to do a video essay just like it's like underappreciated video game sidekicks. We got Navi. We have Ashley Williams and Mass Effect. You guys will see. You guys will see the truth.
Okay, all right.
Navi's not that bad. Navi's not that bad. I like that it's short for navigation. It's nice.
How long did it take you to realize it was short for navigation?
Apparently 30 years.
I'd say I was a full-fledged adult for sure, but
definitely.
Apparently, from when Austin stuck his heel through my Super Nintendo or whatever it was, N64 till now is how long it took me to.
Incredible.
But no, that's actually really interesting because I was going to say that was another part of the early design is like, so we're talking about the beginning of the game, they were playtesting it, and I do think they probably added a lot of those signs, and they added the training course, and they added Navi because people were like really losing track of themselves in 3D space, right? But it's really, like you said, the second you boot it up and you come out of the house, you're just like, oh, I know to go here, I know to go there. I hadn't played this in almost 3 decades, and I was still remembering most of it. Like I was having a little trouble because I was wondering, like, why would there be a course explaining how to use the sword before I get the sword? I must be going the wrong way. That that was like momentarily confusing, but once I got that, it really was just like hitting all the beats over and over. It's like really intuitive how to get to the next little place you're supposed to go. You get inside of the Deku tree, and it's just like it's so well designed. This first dungeon, I think it's probably one of the best in the game in that regard, and many others because like they introduce all these different enemy types. They introduce really basic things like burn the webs with the fire and hit the skull tula things with the slingshots when they're up on the webs and vines before you try to climb them, and just all these things that you are really forced to learn to proceed. And you can do so in a really intuitive way, or if you spend long enough, you can wait for "Hey, listen" to let you know that you should. And you can always log on to things and have her explain something interesting about them too, right? So I think the game is really this perfect balance of like let you figure it out for yourself, giving you just enough breadcrumbs to get you to the next area. And yeah, I mean, dude, the first dungeon, like the part where you jump off and fall through the web and splash, like that brought me back 30 years, like instantly. That was like a core sound of my childhood.
I think I credit that a lot. Like that one interaction, the jumping through the web and like crashing through into the water.
Mhm.
That is like where my video game love started and stemmed from, I think. Like that one moment alone is a big part of the reason that this game is one of my favorites of all time, right? Like it's something that's so cool and revolutionary for the time, and like it really showed you the depth that the 3D had. Like this was going to play a big part in this game now. You are going to have to utilize this 3D space in a big way, and like momentum, and because you can jump off at earlier points. And there's earlier points in the tree where you can jump off, and you jump and it won't go all the way down because you don't have enough momentum. So you
Mhm.
have to get higher. So like that revelation of, oh, the more velocity I have going down, the more likely it is I'll break this web, was like mind blowing to me as a child. That was such a crazy thing, and it really set the standard for me for the rest of this game.
And just talk about being fucking terrifying, right? Like you're the first thing you do in this dungeon is start scaling the inside of the walls, and if you forget every single time like I do that you can't just climb right up the wall because there's a fucking spider there, and if you're not paying attention, he's going to hit you and knock you back down off the wall, right? You very early learn about or very early on you learn about fall damage, and it hurts to fall down. And like pretty much the first, in my mind, significant puzzle in this game is learning to get to the top of the thing and take a literal leap of faith so you can fall through the web and not die. It's just a magical moment. Unless you fuck it up like I often do, and then you die.
Hit the side.
But that spider up at the top. I tried to get fancy and like jump slash kill him when he turned around instead of like stunning him with a nut or something. And he has definitely gotten me before. And just knocked me off, and it was a bad time. Don't get fancy, kids. Just keep it simple.
What's really interesting about the web thing to me is that I feel like if this was a game that was made in the last 10 years, they would have said, "Ooh, you liked that web jump, huh? You want to do it 378 more times before the end of the game? Is this the only time you do anything like that in this game?"
Yeah,
I
I mean, there's definitely other moments where like you have to use kind of the 3D space, but
Yes, yeah.
in important way. But yeah, this is the only time you ever like jump through it, like jump down through a thing. I think this is the only time that really happens.
They're so good about that in this game of not beating any dead horses, not overusing anything to the point where it's no longer interesting or special. Like I have a feeling, Austin, that part of that being so iconic to you is that it only happens once. And it's not like,
Very
oh
true.
yeah, every single dungeon I have a version of jumping through the web and getting up to the top, right? And yeah, so I just this dungeon's so good, dude. And then the boss is like, you walk in, and most games at this time, if there's like a cinematic camera angle, it's immediately going to trigger something as you enter a room. It's going to show it. Da-da-da-da-da. But this one, it's like you just hear this creepy noise, and you have to look up. And then once you look up, is when all that starts, and it's just it feels so connected to your actions. Oh man, it's so the presentation of this dungeon is just like legendary.
Yeah, Goma I think is a great like early boss fight for just kind of teaching you the concept of how most of these boss fights will work. Like
Hmm.
the big weak point, you hit it with the sword, you find a way to stun it to just rapidly slash at it with the sword. Like that is a trend that will happen for pretty much every boss fight in a different way. But it's such a great introduction to that. And then like it's all phase because Gomo will run up on top of the, up on the ceiling and like drop eggs that you have to fight, and it's like it just introduces all these mechanics that'll last throughout the entire game and really just teaches you in a concise way that's not too hard, but gives you enough of a challenge, especially if you've never played the game before, that you're just very engaged in this early fight, I think.
Yeah, it's illustrative in a very broad way. So it allows you to understand what you're doing in other boss encounters without being like just a reskinned version of the exact same mechanic. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's that's I'll just go back to that point. I think that's one thing this game does better than almost any game I've ever played is allow you to experience things in a way that like it will build off of later, but you will never feel like not this again. You know what I mean? Like it's so good at the variety of mechanics and gameplay.
Especially in the climactic moments, right? It is very good at like, hey, if you think about prior fights you have, you'll probably figure out the trick to this mini boss puzzle or whatever. But like you're saying, it never feels like, 3 different colored dragons and you're just fighting the same things over and over again.
Or in the case of Okami, fighting literally the same dragon 3 times with no variation in its mechanics. Sorry. I was
going to do it if you did. I was literally on the verge of going, or like an Okami, where you literally fight the same dragon.
Just quick aside about Okami. Do you remember in that episode, Austin, we were talking about how one thing that game should have done more of, because it's like, an advantage it has over Link to the Past is that it has a jump, right? It has potential platforming it could do. But other than in that Omni Island part at the end, it basically just doesn't do that. I swear to God, this game, without the dedicated jump button, has more interesting platforming than all of the non-Omni Island sections of Okami. It's fucking crazy.
That's so sad, but like I would agree. There's a lot of really interesting like jumping puzzles and mechanics that this game employs that without a dedicated jump button, which is really impressive.
It's like
it
you
is
said,
super interesting that they chose not to have that jump button, because I distinctly remember like as a kid running around being like, how do I jump? I don't understand. Like there's a jump slash, like what do I?
Especially because Mario came with the console, right? So you're supposed to be able to jump on this console. That's how video games work.
That's how this console works. Every game has a jump button. But I think the ledge jump works really well. Like it feels so designed around that. Like adding a jump button in this game would probably be super weird, and it's like super hard to even imagine what a jump button would look like in this game because of how well designed it is around like if you see a ledge and there's a distance, like you will make that jump. Like almost every time you will have the distance unless you're just taking a really weird angle. Like you will have that distance. And that's important because I think it makes it a lot more focused on the puzzles and less about like execution of jumping.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason why they put a literal leap of faith puzzle in the very beginning was that like if you were being resistant to it, no, do it. It is the path forward.
But like you must
Get
jump.
Yeah, and it just works so well. I distinctly remember as a kid being resistant to it and being like, this game is weird. Also, it's not Pokemon. Why am I playing it? But my friend said it was cool. And then like coming to love it as like just a fantastic and natural mechanic.
Yeah, I do love that. If you do miss the jump, it is immediately a clue that like, okay, there's something else I need to do. Besides, it's not really a skill issue here. I'm not failing to time it. It's actually like this is not what you're supposed to do. So yeah, it communicates mechanically very well.
Oh, and I have a dumb question for y'all. Is there a jump button in Tears of the Kingdom?
Yes.
We're not even sure.
We're not even sure. No, I'm like pretty sure, right?
It right? Like I don't even know, because that's just how seamless Zelda is with like there's not a jump button. You just like Link knows how to navigate the environment. Yeah, I don't know.
No, there definitely is though, because you could jump up to grab on a ledge. Like you could jump up to grab higher, because I know I use that a bunch. Like when it's raining, I'll like jump to grab a little bit further.
Well, yeah, but you're already in climbing mode, so there's a button to like sort of like jump while you're climbing. But if you're just standing there, can you jump?
I think so.
I love
this
that we're not
so.
Sure.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's a testament to Zelda's history with jumping. Like navigationally, Link just knows how to navigate the world, jump or no jump.
Mm-hmm. 100%. It's also just to bring us back to Ocarina of Time and the dungeon, right? It's also just a bunch of like very emotional moments very early because you're like a kid going on the great hero's journey. You're being charged with this quest to save Hyrule, and the only father figure, authority figure in the game so far, because everyone's a bunch of children and fairy
fairies,
balls of light. Yeah, yep. Is this giant tree who you quote save just to watch immediately die, and then you have to leave your home, and you're just like, whoa, is a big deal.
It's a hard lesson. He's like, you succeeded, but also it didn't matter. I was doomed from the start. Sometimes, Link, this is just how life is.
I'm sitting here and being like, is this a cancer allegory? What is happening?
This game deals with a lot of dark themes for being such like a game targeted at a young audience. But and then even right then, I know you really like, Adam, this scene like right after as you're leaving the village on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
As you're leaving is also like just a really incredibly emotionally charged scene with no dialogue, really, no voice acting, and like these kind of arguably ugly 3D models, but like at the time, obviously not as much. But
so after you get out the dungeon, you do have to go into the Forbidden Forest for a bit to talk to Saria, who's like playing her forest song. And there's a really cool mechanic I love there, where it's like if you take the wrong path, you reset back to the start. But if you turn up your volume, you can tell that like the louder the song is, that's the way you're supposed to go. Which they don't do when you have to get back for the forest temple, which really annoyed me, but whatever. We'll get to that later. But you find her and she like plays you her song, and you're like, okay, there's clearly this one person in this village, despite the fact that everyone else was like, loser, no fairy. Like she was always your friend. So even though it's not like the deepest, longest relationship for you as the player, you know there's something there. And then so when you leave, of course, there's this little, we'll call it a cinematic. All they're doing is changing the angle of the camera, but they do, through the whole game, they do such a great job with this. In lieu of having like the sort of cinematics that a lot of PC and PlayStation games had at the time, they're just being really creative with the angle of the camera, and it creates this really emotional scene. And Link doesn't talk, but he has these kind of like facial expressions, and then so does Saria. And she says like I always knew you were meant for more than everyone else here. And he kind of takes this like step back, and it pauses. And then he just sprints away, and the camera like fades to black, like lingering on her face, looking sad. And like you said, Austin, they're at the time they're not the most detailed models, but yet somehow everything that needs to be communicated through the facial expressions is done so.
The sound work is so good here, right?
Oh, yeah,
it's like you've got the footsteps when Link takes that step back, right? It's the same like footstep sound effect you've heard before, but it's always played mechanically in the same way. And in this scene, it's deliberately different. So it's like one footstep, weird cadence, a second footstep, and then like the regular running pattern. If you played that sound just out of context, like to me, like over a loudspeaker somewhere, I'd be like, oh God, I'm leaving the forest again. What's going on?
It's honestly amazing to me thinking about like, in games I love, like early BioWare games, Elder Scrolls games, the just total lack of expression through the faces compared to something even like this is honestly just incredible. It's such great work by the art and the direction there.
And the art is so timeless. Like I know we're playing the 3DS version, so like things are a little up-res, like a little upscaled and tweaked a little bit, but the colors and the design and the unique character designs, the environment design, everything just pops in a way that like games, we had that phase of 2010s, like everything was dull and gray and brown and gross,
earth tones,
like
gritty.
You look at this and compare it to something like that, it's just this art style, despite being old and dated for sure, it just is so vibrant. Though the world feels so alive going through it, and I remember still to this day, and even playing again, like walking out into Hyrule Field and having this whole world open up and the music hit. It's just like, whoa! Like, it's nothing on the scale of modern open world games, but it still feels so big even to this day.
The way that playing Breath of the Wild feels today when you see Hyrule, that was the experience playing Ocarina for the first time.
Yeah.
Like when I played Breath of the Wild, I was like, oh, An open world Zelda game. Isn't this just what Ocarina of Time wanted to be? It just wasn't technologically possible, right?
And yeah,
It feels
like,
so much like the same game to me.
Doesn't Breath of the Wild not have dungeons though? Wasn't that like the main complaint?
It doesn't, which is like, I would take the Tears of the Kingdom dungeons any day, of course. But
no, I get what you're getting at. Yeah, it's very much going for that same feel where it's like, and the music hits, dun dun
yeah,
dun 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 dun, dun,
yeah,
the little Hyrule Fields theme. Oh,
Hyrule Fields theme is so yeah, and like it immediately when you walk out there, you can see the castle in the distance, and you know exactly where you need to go. It's like your attention draws immediately to this big castle in the distance. You're like, that's where I gotta go. Like,
but then there's a river leading off to the side and a mountain over here, and you're like, I gotta go talk to the princess because hey, listen is really letting me know I gotta go talk to the princess. But like, just in your head, you're thinking like, I can't wait to figure out what those things are. Like, I can't wait to go there because I know I can. I see it. I'm gonna go to it at some point.
Yeah, and it's impressive that you do then go to all those places at some point. Like all those things that you see in the distance are like, yes, you do end up there and you do like interact with that in a really deep way. And it's really impressive for a game of this era that so often had so many like invisible walls and like background, like, oh, here's some background stuff that is in the distance but you can't actually interact with in like a real way. This is like, no, everything you see you're going to go to and you're going to interact with in some way.
It's almost like this incarnation of like Chekhov's gun. It's like they weren't gonna put anything on the horizon that wasn't going to be used. It was like the things that we want your eyes drawn to, we want you to experience at some point because it's such an important part of the satisfaction is the anticipation of like, oh, what's it gonna be like getting to the top of that mountain? What's it gonna be like going into that thing I've seen under the lake as a kid that I can't get to as a kid that later is a temple? All the elements of that. It's so well done in that regard.
And despite Hyrule Field being pretty empty, like it's obviously there's not really a lot going on there. There are a couple little secret like holes and stuff that you can drop in to like find bugs or chests or whatever. But like despite the field being relatively empty, like it never feels too big or too small. Like it's like it feels like just the right size for this game for what it's trying to accomplish. There's enough of a distance that it feels like you're on a journey, but it's never so long that you're like, I don't want to run through this field again. Like,
yeah,
it's remarkably compact, actually. Like, Epona in this game, in this playthrough for me, was more like a tool to hop over fences than it really was a way to get anywhere. Because otherwise, I was just like running or using the songs. Because it's actually just really well designed, and I didn't, maybe that's just me being an adult. I knew there wasn't anything there, but as a kid, it was much more like, oh, I want to run to the far corner of the field because I don't know what's there, and maybe there's something to explore. So yeah, it's great. So after this, what happens? You get to the castle, right? And all the guards are like, "Hey there, boy! Like, you can't be here." So you know that you have to do like a stealth segment, which, you know, the history of video games is littered with stealth segments and non-stealth games that are of very mixed quality, to say the least. I think there is one later in this game that I would say is of very mixed quality, to say the least. However, this one I loved, and I think it's all about the angle that it puts your camera at. It's like very bird's eye view, and you kind of see the whole area of where the guards are going, and it's separated like in these discrete sections to get past. I actually really enjoyed this little part as Kid Link, like getting to Zelda.
I love the little stealth section here. It's so cool. And like I love that there's that one section where there's like the beam with all the rupees on top and you can go that way or you can just stick on the ground and wait till he turns the corner and go that way. But like if you want to challenge yourself, go up and get those rupees and try not to fall down. And it's like, okay. Like I love that little it's like daring you like come on you want these you do like these are pretty you're gonna use them at some point. Like
It's just the nature of these games being like, it's not just a get to point A to point B as fast as possible. A lot of times it's like, how can you get there? Are there any more interesting ways you can get there? Is there any reward for doing it a more challenging way, as you're saying?
it's funny how much you look like a little kid, like trying to annoy the guards or something. Like, hey, I'm not touching you. You can't tell I'm here. I'm standing right behind you. It's very funny. It looks cheeky in the way that you'd expect from a game with a kid going off on an adventure, right?
and we didn't even mention the market town like when you first get in through the gate.
the icon of urbanism that is Castletown. Yes, we should talk about that.
Not even a horse-drawn carriage in sight, just pure walkability.
No.
Everybody walking.
Community, there's like the couple fighting and the woman who has a problem.
I love Market Town. It's still one of the, like, it's one of the most lively hub areas. It's not even really a hub, but like it kind of is, because there's like a potion shop and there's the little shooting gallery where you can go and shoot out the little rupees for your bigger satchel of Deku nuts. Like all these little areas. There's the bomb shoe mini game where you get the bomb bag, like, or you can get the bomb bag upgrade. Like there's all these little things to do, and there's all these doors, and some of them are locked, some of them you can't do, some of them you can only do at night. Like it's so alive in Market Town for a game from 98, you know.
It is really incredible. It's just so beautiful that you can do your shopping and your exploring and your gambling just like right across the street. Just like what a wonderful world.
Yes, we understand.
Man, I didn't realize there were upgrades there, because I did the bomb shoe one before you get the bomb bag, so you just get a purple rupee, I think. And of course, at that point, like, to say that I had maxed rupees at all times, so that was nothing. And then do you get a bigger quiver the same way with the archery thing?
Yes, but it's in Kakariko Village.
Yeah.
Okay,
but yes, you can do the shooting gallery again and get the bigger quiver.
I did that coming right out as Adult Link, rather than waiting till I got the bow, which meant, again, I got a golden rupee instead of... So I just missed all of these freaking upgrades.
Oh, so you could do
They let you borrow a bow.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
Okay.
I had no idea.
I've never tried to do it before getting the bow.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
So turns out funny. I missed all of these.
That's hilarious.
God damn it. That explains why. I really felt like, I feel like there's just not enough arrows in one quiver. Now, it didn't matter because they're in every pot around every corner.
Yeah.
But,
and that's a thing the game does pretty well for the most part, is like you cannot run out of resources. Because if you need them for this part, it will give it to you somehow.
Right, right. You guys know the room, right? The room with the pots.
At the start of the market?
Yes.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. That is where I learned, I think, what grinding was. Right? It's like on.
You get all the rupees you want, all the everything you want in that one room right there.
Gotta walk out, come back in, smash all the pots again. It was such a weird
basis
I do that for an economy.
Sometimes I do that just for fun. I'm just like, I just want to go like smash all these pots. So I just walk in there and just break everything. Like,
before you could scroll Twitter, we used to smash pots in the guard room. Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. I think I spent 50 rupees in this game on the Deku shield, and like that was it. Was it the last time I ever bought anything? Because it's like, granted, like if you're playing this game as a kid or for the first time, you're probably going to take a lot more damage or want to try to get magic potions or all these other things. So it's like, I'm not saying they're totally useless, but it just happened to be in this playthrough. Like, I'm trying to think, did I ever buy anything besides that first Deku shield from a shop? And I don't think I did.
I definitely did a couple of times, but it wasn't as much out of necessity as it was convenience. It was like, okay, I notice I have 10 arrows left. I could go break a couple things to get more arrows, or I could just buy them at the shop that's like right across the street, and I'll just go do that.
Yeah, support your local economy for sure.
Right.
I can either go vandalize some like dude's like guard shack, or I could go, I could go help out the local economy.
First, commit petty crime so that you can buy local.
This game didn't have an alignment system. It was just trying to make you feel bad about what you were doing to get money.
The number of times I had my Deku shield burned away, though, and I wanted another one, very high on at least a few of my playthroughs.
I'm about to say, I lost my Deku shield more times than I care to admit in this playthrough.
Yeah, that's where all my rupees went, Adam. So.
I don't think I switched back to it after getting the Hylian shield, though, like, ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But then you can't do Z targeting as a kid.
You can.
Well, you can.
Or
you just can't use your shield while you're...
That's what I mean.
Yeah. But once I figured out that this game was just the precursor to Dark Souls, I wasn't blocking anything anyway.
God damn it.
I was sidestepping and jump slashing.
Only sidesteps over here. I think
backflips. Yeah.
I think another thing that is really cool that happens here in the castle section of this game is you really get to see the first instance of the day-night cycle, like really being important with the hatching of the cuckoo and then the like wake up Talon. Like one of the coolest things about this game is how like integral that day-night cycle is throughout all of it. And this first instance of it was really cool to me. It was like, what do I do with this egg? And it will take you a little while probably to navigate through to get to Talon because you have to avoid all the guards and the outskirt area. And like it will probably turn nighttime and you're trying to talk to this guy and nothing's happening. You're like, what do I do? And then when day comes, it's like, oh my god, this egg hatch. Such a cool like revelation of how this is going to affect the rest of the game.
It's just such a great way to make you feel like time is actually passing, and it was probably detrimental to my gaming experience to play a game that had this cool of like a time immersion mechanic, because then every game that was anything like it that didn't make me feel like time was actually passing was not as cool as The Legend of Zelda.
This castle section has another iconic moment that was just burned in my brain. Cause the same way with running away from Saria across the bridge. When you're talking to Zelda and she's like, "It's the bad man. Look in there," and he's like kneeled down, and then he just like turns his head and looks at you, and you both just kind of jump back from the window, and she's like, "I think he saw us, but it's okay. He doesn't know what I'm planning." And you're just like, "Yo, Zelda's like a boss bitch, right?" And you don't quite know how much yet until the whole like Sheik reveal later. But yeah, that whole section to me, like I was having so much fun reliving these particular moments in the Kid Link section. So after that, I think Zelda mentioned something about the Goron city, or maybe Impa does on your way out. And could you is that when you get the first Ocarina? No, Saria gives you that, right?
I'm about to say, yeah, you already
that's right.
have it.
But do you learn Zelda's lullaby there?
You do learn
I believe
Zelda's
so,
lullaby.
in the castle.
Yeah, she teaches it to you. She plays it for you, and you have to copy her. Yeah,
because she's like, there's gonna be someone at the mountain that thinks you're going to be the royal messenger if you play this or whatever, right? So that's when you get to go to the Kakariko village?
Kakariko? Something like that.
Kakariko Village. It's got the same name in Breath of the Wild. Kakariko Village. Yeah.
Wait, so what was it? Kokiri Forest?
Kokiri Forest.
Kokiri
Kakariko
Forest.
Village,
Could they have tried a little? It doesn't matter. That's my fault for just
Japan.
mixing them up. But no, this village is cool. It's got the first, what I would consider like real puzzle in the game with a good reward, and that's the chickens. And you can get the first bottle there. That was one where I felt so dumb because so it's like, the one where you have to jump off the ledge and fly over to the little fence. If you don't jump properly, you'll kind of bump up against the fence and not get enough air. So I thought, oh man, I really thought this was it, but it must not be it. You must have to throw the chicken up onto the rail, climb on the rail, and jump from there, which by the way, you can. Spend about
hard,
45 fucking minutes getting that to line up.
I was about to say, you can do that, but it's really tough.
And then, after a while, I was like, no, dude, like, I must have screwed something up, because this is, like, I do not remember this being so goddamn hard. And it turns out, yeah, that's what I was doing, is I was coming at the wrong angle, like, brushing up against the fence and losing all my height on the jump. But, no, I thought that was a great puzzle. You can go in and learn, I think you can learn can you learn the Song of Storms there, or do you have to be an adult? On the windmill, I can't remember.
I think you learn it as an adult.
Okay.
And then you go back in time to play it for him. At least I've never tried to learn it as a kid. I always learned it as an adult and then gone back.
That's exactly it. Do you learn it? You learn it as an adult.
And then you
Is he only playing it when you're an adult?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
he says when you go as an adult, he's like, it all started when that kid played the song or whatever. And he's all angry, and you're like, you pull out the ocarina, and he's like, and then he teaches it to you, or you learn it from him, and then you go back in time and play it, and it causes the windmill to freak out.
Mm-hmm. Right, this is the time travel paradox in the game. You are the one who taught him the song stuck in his head that you learned from him. Yeah.
There's the Skulltula house, which is a really interesting thing. I love how creepy they look.
So fucking creepy.
Weird.
Yeah.
Don't like.
They didn't just use a talking version of the normal graphic, right? They were like, no, and this has to look like a human is caught in this thing. I thought that was really neat.
Yeah, and it's so cool to like as you go back in, because you're getting all these things as you go throughout, you're killing all these things, and you're like, what is going on? And then as you go back, you see like, oh, one of them's now a person. You're like, what? Like, that's great. Like, this. How many did you end up getting? What was your? Do you remember your final totals?
I don't, because once I realized I wasn't spending money, I never went back to the house. So
I was at
the biggest things there are the wallets. Yeah.
but I still kept collecting them as you guys keep talking. I'm gonna look this up.
I was at 48. Was my final count for this playthrough.
Mine was low, probably only in the 30s. I've definitely gotten all of the Skulltula tokens.
Same.
Earlier in my life, and having done that once, I don't need to do it again. To me, the Skulltulas are like they are the Korok seeds of Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yes. Yeah. At least this gives you a big wallet. I know you don't technically need it, but it's not just golden poop like in Breath of the Wild.
Hey, it increases your inventory space.
There we go.
That is true.
39 literally stopped right before the wallet, I think.
That would be I think 40 is the big wallet, but not the biggest wallet. The biggest wallet I think comes at 50 or 60.
This 3DS version had this weird thing at 30 that was like made pinging noises when you found a secret. Was that in the original?
No.
I'm about to say, I don't think that's in the original. The 3DS version does a couple things. Like if you ever saw like the big Sheikah stone, like in the Temple of Time, that you could like go in there and like pay for hints. Like if you you could use rupees to pay for hints in there.
I did one just to see what it was, and I was like, that almost feels like cheating. It's literally a video clip of where to go and what to do next. But it is neat, right? Like
it's cool. It's a cool option. You never have to use it, but like it is a cool option of a thing they added to the 3DS version. I think there's a lot better improvements, like the fact that you can set boots to hotkeys. We'll get there, but the way the kind of bonuses that this game throws at you are cool throughout. Because like in Kakariko Village is also where you can start the mask salesman quest, where you
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could get the little Pikachu mask. I think it's the Keaton mask, and you bring it up to the guy, and he's like, my kid wants one of these. Mm-hmm. Like, and that starts a whole quest chain if you want to go down that rabbit hole.
I totally forgot.
What is at the end of that quest chain? I don't remember.
I didn't do it this time, so I also don't remember. I did the first one. I did the Keaton mask, but I never figured out who the skull mask went to.
I didn't either. So I just stopped.
I thought it was the kid in the graveyard. I thought it's the kid who's trying to be like Dampy, but I could never get him to take it.
Yeah, it gets me every time that I'm like, I swear to God, I'm supposed to give this mask to this kid, but he won't fucking take it. So
sorry, it must not be the kid because we're all thinking the same thing.
Maybe that's where you get the fourth bottle at the end of that, because I didn't get that either.
That could be, because I never got the fourth bottle either. I also never got the third of the fairy, the Din's Fire.
Is that just outside the castle, but you have to go back out with the golden gloves?
I think it is. It is. And I just wasn't going to bother to go back.
Yeah, me either. Given that I used Pharaoh's Wind twice and Din's Fire 3 times, I wasn't going to go get the next one to use once. So,
I used Din's Fire a couple times. I think the last one is like a shield that it puts around you. Like it puts like a diamond shield around you that heals, that prevents damage or something like that.
Naru's protection, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
Yeah, okay, so you're supposed to give the skull mask to the dude in the Lost Woods. The kid in the Lost Woods.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Who is named the Skull Kid.
Okay. Which then leads into Majora's Mask and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. I really thought
you give the spooky mask, which is after the skull mask, goes to the graveyard child.
So what's at the end of the quest now that you have it pulled up?
Hold on, let's see.
A heart piece.
It's either like a heart piece or a bottle.
Yes. One.
Sorry. No, I'm totally wrong. I misread that. Okay. Completing the mask quest provides the Mask of Truth.
Okay. What does that do?
Is that just like the eye, but no magic?
I think so. It also opens up the Goron, Zora, and Gerudo masks, which offer unique interactions in the game.
Okay.
This is sounding familiar now. Yeah.
That's interesting.
The Mask of Truth. Oh, there you go. The Mask of Truth allows Link to speak to gossip stones. Those stones with like the eyes that are all over the place.
I do.
And that provides hints and secrets about the game.
Okay. Interesting.
You have to do something that's way harder to figure out than just progressing through the game in order to get
right.
Correct.
Right. It is so interesting to see how like this big mask quest though definitely is like the direct inspiration for Majora's Mask. Like,
right. Someone at Nintendo was like, "This is fucking incredible. What if we make a whole game about it?"
Right, like I love this little mask quest. What if our next game is just that? Like,
well, then why didn't we get the third one, which would be like Bigoron's delivery service or whatever? Where you just
did you ever get the big Goron sword?
I did end up going for it. So Austin, I was actually going to ask you this. In this version, it like there wasn't a map in the original where it would have highlighted an area telling you where to go, right?
I don't think so. No.
There's definitely a mini map in the original game.
There's a mini map, but not like
there's like a world map, and it has little icons for each of the major areas. And so with this Bigoron quest, it would just say, "Go to where it's telling you next," but all it would say is like Zora City, right? So it's not like it's really directing you more than that, but it was at least a little bit of a hint to do the Bigoron quest.
Yeah, the Bigoron quest was really annoying to me because I woke up Talon with the stupid Kuko and was like, "Hey, wake up!" and he runs off, and then I was like, "Okay, what do I do with the stupid chicken now?" I didn't think to go back and just bring it right to the person who gave it to me, who's like, "Make my chicken happy," and I'm like, "Why did that make it happy? I don't understand."
And now she's like, "And here's a sad one for you." That's
right.
Like, okay.
Somebody definitely wants this. Some guy in this forest definitely wants this chicken. I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that one, I was like, you were complaining about that to me, and that's the only reason I knew to go to her. And if it wasn't for that, I would have almost certainly not bothered with the Bigoron quest.
I had to look it up. That's one of the only 2 times I used a guide in this run, because I was like, I just don't know I don't know what to do to start this quest.
So I was purposely trying to do literally start to end with no guide, and I more or less succeeded, but that's also why I just missed several things. That was a consequence of that, but like it's
a natural, organic playthrough.
The only thing I looked up was like the Scarecrow song. I could tell there were ledges that she was highlighting that I was like, that's got to be the Scarecrow song. What else could she be doing up there? But I would play it and nothing would ever fucking happen. And I was getting so frustrated. Then it turns out that like you pretty much have to be also standing in a very specific place when you play the Scarecrow song. And most of the time that meant negating anything that could have possibly been useful about putting the Scarecrow there to begin with. So it was a very weird mechanic, but that's why it's so optional. And it really is just like shortcuts for the most part. Like in the Gerudo Training Ground, you can put one that allows you to kind of just like then cross through them the other direction. So if you have to go back through rooms, you can take a little bit of a shortcut. But ultimately, like nothing super important. In the Shadow Temple, it literally lets you get to 2 hearts before the final boss. So you have to play the Song of Time to stand on a block to then play the Scarecrow song to hookshot up and get 2 hearts. It's like, why? Like, this was not worth the time to program, but it's okay. I appreciate how many crazy weird things they were doing with this game.
And that really is the thing. Like they just do a lot of little subtle things, like little Easter eggs almost that you don't have to engage with at all, but if you do, it's like, okay, that was neat.
Like with the Goron City, to get back on track here. So once you are kind of done with the village, you play the Zelda's Lullaby for the guard. He lets you through. No, you get a
you get like a letter.
That's what it is.
She gets a letter. Yeah.
So then you go up the mountain and you go to the village and you meet the Gorons, and there's you instantly start seeing all these little bombs in flowers around the village as you're going up there. So that's like a big thing. And you're like, what do I do with that? Not sure yet. But there's some other stuff you can do in this village, right? Like there's you go down and you play the Zelda's Lullaby for the leader, or at the leader's door, and that like opens the door, and then you go play Saria's song for the leader, and he's like dancing to it like real hard. And
he's so me. Like I'm like like I am Darunia in this moment. Like,
that's how everyone reacts to Saria's song. Obviously, I mean it's so great.
It's so good.
100%. But that's another example of the way they do the camera work, where they like zoom in on his face and they go around side, and it's just so great how much flavor that adds. But you can like take the fire out of his room and light all the torches, and I can't remember what that does. Get you, a heart piece. You can throw, once you get the bomb bracelet from him, I believe, You can like throw it to stop the guy that's rolling around, which I don't even know if it does anything as a kid, but you have to do it as an adult for something.
Yeah.
There's like a shortcut back to the forest. There's a shortcut to the crater where you will just die as a kid.
Yep.
Yep.
There's who I thought was fucking Bigoron, because
Yeah.
fuck me for thinking the giant big Goron was Bigoron, and the amount of time I wasted trying to give him the sword hilt. Oh my god.
Same, dude. Same.
Like that killed me. I knew not to buy the giant's knife this time around, at least. I knew that was
I was say, I bought the giant's knife because I was like, so when I break the giant's knife, maybe I can give it to Bigoron and he'll make a better one of it. Nope,
Right.
nope. I just bought 2 giant knives for a fucking reason.
You
That's
spent
where all
more
my
money
money
on
went in
giant
this
knives
game.
than I spent on like anything else in the game. Bro.
That's where all my money went in this game, was just buying giant knives that would break after 2 swings.
So I loved this part of the game because I thought the way they handle the bomb flower before you get the bomb bag was like a really cool building to it. Because you're like, man, these bombs are cool, but they take a while to blow up and they're only in set locations. And it's like, wouldn't it be cool if you had one that just triggered a little faster so you could use it more offensively and you could pull out wherever? And that's exactly what the item is in Dodongo's Caverns, which is the second dungeon. I really liked Dodongo's Caverns. I thought it was like a lot more kind of combat oriented puzzles and stuff with the lizards, and there's just a really cool underground environment. You know, it's a lot less vertical than the tree. It's kind of more like broad, and just dropping the bombs off the bridge into the eyes of the thing, and it's so thematically cool.
I was going to mention that
it's super clever.
I think that's a really cool, like it's an iteration on what you jump into the web. Like, this is kind of an iteration on that, because now you're having to line up and drop a bomb down into something. So it's like, kind of like you were talking about earlier, it iterates on a concept that happens earlier without doing the exact same thing again.
Yeah, and you know, to do this dungeon, you need a whole bunch of new stuff. You just came from the forest. Everything you have learned to use well is wood that's going to catch on fire and burn in this place, or not be useful against the enemies. So this is just another great example of them giving you a whole new set of tools, and that's part of your reward for figuring out the puzzles and getting farther in the dungeons, is you get new stuff that does new cool things and open up some more aspects of the game.
Right, and then like you scale to get Din's fire after you beat it. You know, you scale up the mountain and you have to use the Hylian shield to like cover yourself from the exploding volcano that like only explodes sporadically at this very specific time. I don't know what's going on with that, but like I thought that was another really cool twist on like, okay, I got this new thing, now I can use it to just cover my head as bomb or as like giant falling rocks or landing on my head.
The way that the Hylian shield is too big as a kid to use normally, so you use it like that, to me is just so funny and so clever as a mechanic. And I'm really surprised that more games don't take advantage of some sort of, if it's not time travel, just something that really makes the same item have such different uses like that. I just really liked that. I don't know what to say. It's like, because it still functions as a block too. Those big lizards in that dungeon are hitting you from over the head, so you just like cover up with it like a turtle. Yeah, I thought that was so cool. Which I guess the Hylian shield was the second thing I bought in the game, so maybe that was the last thing I bought. But,
There you go.
but you know,
the
the
only thing
Goron
you have to
shop
buy
has the red tunic, and I like how it's like you can't wear it because you're an adult, but it's kind of hinting, like, you're not an adult, but it's like hinting, hey, you're gonna get some cool stuff as an adult. By the way, there's gonna be a whole section of this game that you're an adult.
Right. Where this will probably fit you at some point.
It's the little hints it leaves, both where to go next and what you're going to experience next. It's so enticing. It's like really good design.
How do we feel about Dodongo as a boss fight?
Oh, as a boss fight?
Yeah.
I found it kind of intimidating as a child. I do remember being annoyed and afraid of the giant thing that kept hitting me over and over again. Man, this might be the first boss in my life where like the trick is to get him to like eat an explosive. Which happens all the time now, I feel like. Go ahead, Austin.
It's a cool fight for scale, for sure. Like, Goma had a lot of scale going on, but then this is an even bigger, like, this is this giant dinosaur-looking dude who's, like, rolling all over the place, and, you know, the only thing you can really do is avoid him for a little while until he opens up his mouth and you can throw a bomb in his face, and then, like...
So the thing is, though, I actually liked this one the most because you don't just have to wait. If you run at him with a bomb, he opens his mouth. And so you just throw it in. And then he blows up, he does his roll. But I just was like charging, just like throwing it like
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of bosses in this game where you are just sort of biding your time. But this one, you could be like really aggressive, which I liked. But no, I like this one a lot.
Yeah, I agree. I think Dodongo's Cave is another strong dungeon for sure.
I struggle with change, so the fact that it burned away all of my weapons and came at me with a giant lizard monster, there we go, that I didn't understand. Like, yeah, that might be a core memory for me. So
So you get out of this one and you start to. So God, I went to the lake first and was like, I swore they were here. Are they not here?
Yeah.
It's a lake.
Every
They're
time.
lake people.
I do it every time.
But then it turns out no. There's like that river that I mentioned earlier coming out of the forest. You got to go that way, and you get the magic bean guy right there, which is like a whole thing. And that's when I was like, oh, that weird garden plot in the ground outside Dodongo's Caverns that I stared at and could not figure out what the hell it was. It's the beans. And that's, oh, yes, they probably grow into something as an adult. And like, you're just piecing it together.
It's so cool that you can also drop the bugs in there. If like when you capture the bugs, you lift a rock, like bugs will come out. You catch a bug in a bottle. If you drop the bug into there, usually a Skulltula will pop out. One of the golden Skulltulas will pop out, and you can kill it. And here's another thing. And
So
they say when you're in the house. I don't know. I didn't try.
I think you're just screwed. I don't think you can ever get all of them.
that would suck. I never tried.
that can't be right. I'm not smart enough to stop myself from not accidentally planting the bean, and I've definitely gotten all of the Skulltulas.
You might be able to, because it's just a little sprout that pops out at first, and I'm sure if you just drop the bug in, it probably just erases it. I don't know.
Right? Yeah. Who knows?
But that's a fun section. You play Zelda's Lullaby to get the waterfall to go away. You go meet the Zora people. There is I really liked this part where you have so in order to get King Jabu, no, is that his name? King. No, Jabu's the
Jabu's the whale.
King Zora.
I think it's just
King Zora,
I think
to get him to do his 45-minute butt scoot out of your way, you have to get the letter in the bottle that his daughter has left. In order to do that, you have to dive to the bottom of the lake. And in order to do that, you have to go do the high dive mini game at the top of the little Zora tower and then dive under and get the rupees in a certain amount of time to get the skill that lets you dive deep. And it's just this like really satisfying, obvious breadcrumb if you're paying like any amount of attention to what anyone's talking about. And I really enjoyed that. It just felt like cause and effect, and not just what the hell am I doing next. I really like the Zoras have a really cool design, especially in the 3DS version. They have that like alien head thing going back. They're like fish people who don't just look like mermaids, but don't look I don't know, horrific Lovecraftian nightmare either. I thought it was a cool design.
They're actually like aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah,
they're not. There's plenty of other stuff that is made of nightmares in this game. So
the princess wants to fuck you for sure.
For
like,
sure.
That shit is funny.
that is the most Japanese thing about this game. But
the design on adult Princess Runo is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we're just gonna make a sexy fish. Like, it's literally somebody Nintendo was like, what if we made the fish sexy though? Like, I was like, maybe don't.
The way you then have to get a fish and put it in front of Jabu and he inhales it, that's cool. Another really cool cinematic little thing they do with the camera too, where Link's like, trying to run away and he gets sucked in. This dungeon is one I remember hating a lot more as a kid. I think really there's so many things in this game I hated more as a kid, but it's because the first, I was 8. And now, even though I didn't have the best memory of it, I've just played enough video games now to where it's like, okay, I think I probably know what to do the thing, right?
I think Jabu's real annoyance for me is like all the electrical enemies that will just stun you and you're like, yes. And like you're getting zapped for like 5 seconds and you can't do anything. Like that's until you get the boomerang and can like really deal with those in a way that is efficient, that is really annoying to me. But I do think a lot of the like people are like, oh, it's an escort quest and those suck. Like, I don't think the escort segments of it are all that bad, really.
She's your best weapon before the boomerang. Is just to throw her at things. Like,
that's very true.
I didn't find it too bad this time around, especially because like ultimately there's not that like this is one of the smaller dungeons, and the fewest rooms of really hardly any of the major dungeons, right? So it really wasn't hard to figure out exactly where to go because there's only so many options. And so I thought it was fairly intuitive. Like you said, the enemies can be annoying as hell at times, but then it's like, okay, you once you get the boomerang, you can come back and kill those little tentacles that you couldn't before, and then those are also on top of the boss when you finally get there. So it's like really intuitive to throw your boomerang at them. I liked this boss because other than the point where like it's spinning with the jellyfish shield, once it stops doing that for the first time, you can kill those jellyfish, and you can be hyper aggressive on this boss. This was another boss where you did not have to spend a lot of time waiting. So I don't know. I know a lot of people kind of give this dungeon shit, and I'm sure my 8-year-old self might have also. But I rather enjoyed it this time around.
I deeply disliked it as a kid for exactly what Austin is talking about. Is like the sort of stun lock type thing. It's like, oh god, I can't touch any of the walls, and I was still mad about like all of my stuff burning and Dodongo's cavern. now I'm like dropping shit. And so it was a bit of a nightmare as a child, but coming back as an adult, Jabu Jabu's Belly is like one experience of like, oh, this is actually incredibly easy. Here is my vengeance. I will now visit my wrath upon you and dominate this dungeon. It was probably man, I think I got through it faster than any other Kid Link dungeon.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the only parts in this dungeon that tripped me up for a little bit was like right when you first meet Princess Ruto, she jumps down into like you're in this room where there's like a bunch of openings and she goes down, and I just forgot that like you're supposed to immediately bring her back up. Like the next room that you have to go to is just go back the way you came, and I was like trying to find out where to bring her down, and I'm like, where does she go? I'm like, I need to go back up. Like, yeah, and that was hard for me to remember at first, but once I got through that part, everything else was pretty smooth sailing.
Well, it's like she will respawn up top if you leave her, right? So the easiest thing to do is just to run a couple rooms away.
That would have made sense, but it's not.
It's not obvious. I mean, don't get me wrong. It just turns out it's the easiest way to do it.
Right. And yeah, in hindsight, that'd have been a lot easier than what I ended up doing because I was running around for like 20 minutes, like, where do I go? But once I figured that out, it's a pretty easy dungeon all around. It's just annoying, and it's kind of ugly. Like, just like the inside of a whale is like kind of a gross aesthetic. It's unique, I'll give it that, but it's just kind of gross.
I definitely put down the game for a while after playing this dungeon for the first time as a kid, and then I finally came back and finished it and got the third of the 3 pretty jewels that you're collecting this whole time, right?
Yeah.
Which finally means that you can go and unlock the Temple of Time. Did I get that right?
Yeah. It leads to a really cool cinematic that...
So you go back to Hyrule Castle because you're like, I gotta go talk to Zelda now, I got the things. But Ganondorf has attacked it, and she's coming out of there on Impa's horseback, right? And that's when she tosses the ocarina into the river, and Ganon like Kamehamehas you from his horse, like
he just like he gives you like the most brutal stare down of all time, where he's just like, stupid child.
This is literally the scenario from your dream at the beginning. Like you kept envisioning, like
this is it coming to fruition. And then you have to dive into the lake, get the ocarina, and it's like, I have like this special ocarina now, and then you go to the temple.
Yeah, and I can't remember what breadcrumbs you to the temple. I'm sure Navi's like, we have the jewels. Have you been to that temple in the market square?
Right, something like that. Yeah. If you did happen to go into the temple as you're collecting the gems, if you go to the temple, you can see them being placed there as you're getting them.
Right.
Like, so it's like, oh, I have them all. I should go to that temple now that I have them all. I bet I can do something there.
Did anyone else think, at the top of the Goron village, there's like the place where the red jewel, I guess, usually sits before Ganondorf stole it? It's like that little pedestal with the ropes leading to it.
Yeah.
I kept going back there to put it there after the second one, and I was like, I have this memory that you put it here, right? No, it's actually just really good environmental storytelling. It's like, here's where we used to keep it, and that guy stole it from us.
Now it's gone. Now some dinosaur thing has it. Like...
So yeah, you go to the temple, you open it up, and it's like one of those situations where like, haha, you've been part of my plan the whole time. I've been waiting for you to collect these. And now I'm going to enter like the sacred kingdom to get the Triforce.
Yeah, the sacred realm,
Yeah, and Link is like King Arthur here. He's the kid who can pull the sword from the stone. But it turns out in this version of King Arthur, you had to be a certain age to use the Master Sword. So he is stuck in time for 7 years until he's old enough to actually be able to use it. Which of course is really when you find out, okay, you must not be one of these forest children, because I thought that was the whole deal. So you guys didn't grow up.
Talk about a big reveal and twist, right?
Yeah.
Like you go from being the boy without a fairy to realizing that you are the hero of time.
Yeah.
I don't know if we get that fancy with the title yet, but you are clearly different. There's, again, great storytelling with Link's expressions as you become an adult, and the sound work again, which... Remember, Link's like a silent character, but not really. Mm-hmm. He's like the most expressive person who only makes 5 sounds.
It's really true.
Yeah, it's a total change in like the pitch, of his voice. Like all of his little sounds are distinctly no longer a child yelling; they are an adult yelling. This part you can go back out into the market square, and suddenly you see that like, well, this looks a little different than how I left it.
That's the understatement of the game.
Yeah, like Dawn of the Dead.
This is probably like my second favorite part of this game, honestly, is the webs never be topped, that like core memory of jumping through the web. But coming out into Market Town after becoming an adult is still just like mind blowing to me. Like just walking onto this like desecrated village with all these like zombie like creatures and this like really ominous, like there's no music. It's just this like kind of wind rustling through the town, and it's just like, what happened here? Just like traumatizing as a child. And I think still works really, really well story-wise and like emotionally, just coming out into this like really dark version of what used to be so lively and bustling and happy. It's the perfect juxtaposition.
It's a great scene, right? And it differs greatly from, say, like Breath of the Wild, a modern game where like you start the game and Hyrule has already been destroyed. You're kind of figuring out what happened in the past, right? Ocarina of Time does it so well that you're like a kid going out on an adventure when the world is fine and you can save it, and then you fail to save it. In fact, maybe you were instrumental to it being destroyed.
You might be the reason that it's down.
Again, maybe this is why I don't deal with change well, but yes, you walk out of the Temple of Time and the great lively market town is now a burned, ruined wasteland filled with zombies, and you're just like, oh my god, all I want to do is run away.
After you come out of the temple, you're walking through the market square. There's really nowhere to go because everything is like a desecrated wasteland now, right? But as you're heading out, you'll notice that, okay, well that one little shack where we were smashing all the pots before, that's a door still. So you go in there, and now it's like a lady who's like, do you want to collect the souls of the dead that are just roaming around the fields? And you're like, wow, this is a different tone. Than,
right, like, whoa.
Which I only did that once, and I got the cheapest one, and it was like 10 rupees, and I was like, nah, I'm not going to waste my time with
this.
I think
the pos were pretty annoying too.
There's like a special po or something that you can get that'll give you like a heart piece or whatever, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the one that just starts following you when you're on horseback sometimes?
Yes.
I think so.
It's related to that. Like, that's part of the ways that you catch souls. I much prefer the Tears of the Kingdom version where you just pick them up off the ground as opposed to having to deal with them in Hyrule.
Yeah, I could never line it up correctly to shoot at it while it's riding and like actually kill it. I was like, never mind. I don't care enough to figure it out.
Yeah. But the first thing I did was like, hey, don't you get Epona from the ranch? Because I'd gone there and learned her song as a kid, and met Malon, I guess, Malon and Talon. And but of course you go in there, and it's actually kind of interesting because when you first go out as an adult, it's not set up to happen yet. You have to go do like one thing. I think you have to go talk to someone in the forest or something, and then you can come right back. But I went in there, and Igor would not let me race him. and Malin was not in the barn. And I was like, interesting, okay. But I think you go to the village as an adult, and you meet. Is that where you meet Sheik for the first time? I can't remember. You have to do something.
You meet Sheik in the temple of time. Like,
Okay.
as you become an adult, when you come out, Sheik is there and is like, "I'm Sheik" or whatever.
Gotcha.
And then I always go straight to the village after that because I know to get the hook shot. But
that's what it is. You have to get the hook shot first.
Is that what triggers?
I guess so, because like I was saying, Malin wasn't in the barn, and Igor would not let me race him. Igor,
Ingo, I think it might be Ingo.
Ego, okay, that's why I was saying it weird because it wasn't
that.
Igor. But so then you go get the hook shot, which, by the way, I don't know why I had no memory of this whatsoever. This did not feel the slightest bit familiar to me. Luckily, the game breadcrumbs into it really well. There's someone at the start of the village who's basically just like, yeah, the Gravekeeper's like dead now, but people keep seeing his ghost. You should go see what that's about. Like, oh, thank you. Okay, I know where to go next.
Go check out that ghost.
So you do that, and then you can go get Epona. But I thought the little race with the underground to get to the hookshot, that's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah. It's well, again, having played it as many times as I have, like I was like, okay, I gotta go this way, gotta roll here. Like it was pretty easy to do this time. But I feel like as a kid, I kind of struggled with that race because like if you're not
kept hitting the flames,
like if you're not taking the right pathing, like it's kind of hard. Like,
does it feel like a good preparation or a good way to get you used to the feel of adult Link versus how you've been playing the game so far as a kid, or is it more of just a new challenge?
I guess it doesn't feel that much different than Kid Link at that point because you're just running and rolling. Maybe you roll a little further. I'm not sure. I forgot that you roll so much faster than you run if you spam it. So I never really did it as much as a kid. But then I started using it a lot as an adult. So I'm wondering if maybe it doesn't even work that way as a kid. I'm not sure. But yeah, you get out of there. You can go do the Epona thing then, which I definitely remembered that from being a kid because I just remembered like that cool scene when he's like, haha, you think you've won, but I have locked you in my ranch. Whatever. I stole this ranch for them now to not be able to get into the part where the money is made, but fine. So then you can jump over the gate, and it's a cool cinematic thing, and now you have Epona for the rest of the game. I love that part too.
That's an awesome part. I didn't learn Epona's song as Kid Link originally. Like, I guess I went to Malin, like I went to the ranch, but I don't think I ever pulled out the ocarina in front of her to actually learn the song. So you actually have to wait till after the forest temple to go back to be Kid Link if you don't have the song. So I didn't actually get Epona till after the forest temple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's happened to me a lot too, is that I can't do it right out of the gate because I've completely forgotten to stop by the ranch as a kid.
Yeah. Because you can't really do much, but...
Yeah.
You can get the second bottle there, though, as a kid. So I was
which I do.
Yeah. What I remember, I do go get the bottle. And, some nice milk. That's a good way to heal yourself early on in the game.
Yeah, it is. And I love that you can just find random cows underground and refill on the milk.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't there be random cows underground? I mean, I don't know.
Found a cow here. Oh my god.
Here's a cow. Get some milk in this like weird underground cavern that has like milk and bugs.
The little underground cavern things are so funny sometimes because it's like you do so much work for 5 rupees and it's like why?
It's like this was completely useless, but
the Zelda series seems to have like an addiction to giving you chests that are easy and then also filled with useless items like I don't know, when I get 2 arrows out of a chest in Breath of the Wild or something, or, in this game, 5 rupees.
It does kind of make the world feel alive in a way where it's like, sometimes you do something for kind of a minimal reward, but it's like, it feels kind of organic in that way, where it's like, like everything you do isn't always going to give you some like great big reward, but here's another option that you can do a thing, like, oh, there's a big rock, blow it up with a bomb, see what happens. It could be 50 rupees, it could be 5, it could be a heart piece, it could be, some bugs. Like, I like that it keeps you guessing and it kind of forces you to try everything because you never know what will be worth it and what won't be.
So at this point, like you said, Forest Temple's next. Navi's like, what do you think happened to your childhood home or whatever, right? So you go there, and it's overgrown and infested. All the kids are hiding inside. There's those the Deku stick flower guys are like freaking everywhere. You go to where the tree was. No, not yet. The sprout doesn't come out until you beat the Forest Temple, right?
Yeah,
So
I believe so.
You go into the forest, and like you somehow know that you need to go back to where you learned Saria's song. But now that path doesn't play Saria's song louder as you get closer to it. And that was killing me. I was like, well, there's not that many paths. You can kind of, if you walk but not all the way, it kind of reveals itself. So you can kind of still cheat your way there. But I don't know why. This was frustrating the hell out of me. Because there's
there's
like this one
choice.
clearing. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's like this one clearing with like a tree, but it's a dead end. And I was like, oh, I bet I can hook shot something up there. So I just could not realize that I was just literally going the wrong way. Eventually figure that out. This part with the charging pig soldier demon guys.
Yeah.
First time I died in this playthrough. Now, not game over because I have 3 fairies at this point, of course.
Of course.
But first time I actually lost all my hearts. I don't know why. I kept like getting way too aggressive, thinking like, oh, I'll get by here. I don't need to wait. Charge, hit you, reset. Could not figure out the guy at the end where you just have to like zigzag.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I took so much damage there, and then eventually
that's a core memory for me. I feel like.
Yeah, so I eventually figured that one out. Immediately killed him from behind because I was so freaking pissed off. Yeah, so then you get to the Forest Temple. I love the Forest Temple. To me, there's so much about it that feels different from being Kid Link. You get the small keys finally, right? I'd kind of forgotten that small keys are not even a thing as Kid Link.
I forgot that too.
The dungeons just weren't that complicated.
Yeah, I forgot that too coming into this one, and I was like, man, I haven't gotten any keys.
I do feel like the adult dungeons here start like giving you many more. It's like you can kind of explore the dungeon like widely first in like a breadth first kind of way and hit tons of dead ends. Whereas like as a child, it's much more designed for there being only like maybe 1 or 2 obvious paths for you to go figure out the puzzle in. And then like in the Forest Temple, to me, it feels very much like they take the training wheels off.
You meet Sheik right outside the Forest Temple, right? And she teaches you that forest song. Or I guess you think maybe it's a he at this point, and you'll notice that like unlike all the songs as a kid, unlike literally every song you can get as a kid, this one has more than 3 notes. And it's almost symbolic of what you are about to experience as an adult.
Right.
You're like, this
like,
is almost like
we're evolving.
Yeah, exactly. Like things are going to be a little more complicated now. Not much, but noticeably more. And that's how the dungeon is. The bow is such a cool item to get as your very first tool. It's a lot like the slingshot, but just better. I mean, the slingshot would not hurt every enemy that the bow does, so it's just like a stronger version. You eventually get the elemental arrows over time. So the bow is an awesome addition to your arsenal.
The bow is so good. Like again, you can't use the slingshot as an adult, so you like walk out of the Temple of Time and like half your shit's gone. You can't even equip it. And I'm like, what is this bullshit? I hate everything.
Right, where's my ranged attack?
It's like, I have to start all over. Yeah. And then you get into the Forest Temple and you finally start getting things. I was even skeptical of the hook shot at first because I was like, is this supposed to replace my slingshot? No, it is not.
No, right, because the hook shot doesn't really hurt anything, besides a couple things like underwater. But for the most part, it just freezes things. So it's like, well, this isn't nearly as good as my slingshot. And then you get the bow, of course, which is like the best thing in the entire game. I love the bow.
Yeah.
I will say I was mildly disappointed that you really just don't spend much time using the boomerang because you get it and then immediately become an adult. And the boomerang in the previous Zelda games before this were like awesome. Like the boomerang is like the coolest fucking thing in Link to the Past and Link's Awakening, right? But in this one, it's like you basically get it for one dungeon, and it kind of sucks to use outside of Z-targeting mode. Like throwing the boomerang outside of Z-targeting is just awful. It's so hard to figure out where it's going.
It's so hard to figure out where it's gonna go. Yeah,
There's like a couple puzzles where you're supposed to make it like curve around something to hit a switch, but it would always curve the other fucking way that I needed it to, and I wasn't sure what I was doing. But yeah, Bo, freaking awesome. I love the puzzles.
I'm about to say, it becomes absolutely instrumental in puzzle solving for every dungeon throughout. Like, it becomes like the biggest puzzle tool.
Look for
but
an
when
eyeball.
in doubt, look for an eyeball to shoot in
but also
the
like
eye.
it's so great because even in the forest temple, they're teaching you like, okay, you don't have a stick anymore to light things on fire. How do I light these torches? Shoot an arrow through fire.
Yes.
Like such a great evolution of like, okay, I need to light this torch somehow, but I can't do it the way as I did as a kid. What could I do? And then you look around and you're like, this lines up pretty nice. Like, and then it lights it and you're like, oh my God. Like, again, just so intuitive game design because it's like, okay, here's this torch. Like, it lines up pretty well with this torch. You just got a bow. Maybe try that. Like,
I do remember.
I need the like a MythBusters episode to decide if you could actually set an arrow on fire by shooting it through a flame. But it is an incredibly good game mechanic.
Is it covered in gasoline? Because maybe
Right. I just assume. Look, Link has very flammable arrows. Okay, that Hyrule wood is just real.
just really dried out. Like.
No wonder Ganondorf burned down the castle in like an afternoon.
It's basically made of wood. So
I do remember as a child not understanding this one at first, and I thought I just had to use a Din's Fire worth of magic every time I needed to light one of these torches. But hey, it's nice to have options, right?
It's true.
Yeah, so this is a pretty good dungeon, I think. The boss is really cool. I will say, I was being an idiot and not Z-targeting Navi information for this boss when I couldn't figure it out. And what I kept doing is I thought what I was doing. So, you do the thing where he's charging out the portraits, you shoot him with the bow. He then comes out and is floating around in the air. And what I thought what I was doing is when he got close to me, I was jump slashing and hitting him, and that was bringing him to the ground. Turns out what I was doing is I was reflecting his attack right as he started it because I had completely and entirely forgotten about the tennis ball thing. So I managed to kill him in the most tedious, annoying way.
That is insane. That is how you fought that boss. But
that is extremely funny.
I think it's so interesting. I think it's so interesting because this boss's mechanic is essentially exactly what Ganondorf's the final fight Ganondorf is. So it really teaches you early on, and you also have to use something a little similar, not quite the same for Twin Rova, with like taking attacks and returning them back to the return to sender mechanics here. But I thought it was really neat reflecting back on it. It was like, okay, this is just a prelude to what you're going to do later in the final fight.
This boss is always the first one that like really trips me up in the game because I'm just not I don't know. I'm not good at the reflection bit. Eventually I figure it out, but it's always like the first time you get to this part and you're supposed to start tennis ball again, and it gets me like the first 3 or 4 times. And I'm like, fuck. It's a decently long like cycle time. If he like knocks you down, you have to like restart it in order to get back to the tennis ball match. So it can be annoying.
Apparently it's a thing. I was reading about this right before we started recording. You can use a bottle to reflect it, and the attack animation on the bottle is much quicker than your sword. So you can just like spam the bottle and knock it back at him.
Again, just that like weird Japanese shit. Like that is like a Western game would never do that. Like
that sounds like some programming edge case, right? It's like, we didn't realize that
one of the flags that we left on the bottle was
accidentally makes it a weapon that can punch back balls of energy light.
I thought so. In Link to the Past, you have a butterfly net that you use to catch fairies and stuff and put them in the bottles, right? So you don't use the bottle itself. And you can use that to reflect something at the Ganon in that game. And I wonder if they were kind of just echoing.
But like an Easter egg, like a kind of like a little nod to Link. I mean, so much of this game is just a nod to Link to the Past. So
right. I mean, there also essentially is a time travel mechanic in Link to the Past. It's like it's a little different, but yeah.
Right. I mean, so much of Ocarina is obviously just a 3D version of Link to the Past, but I think that 3D space really does so much for the game. Like,
oh, absolutely. So this is a great dungeon. You get out of there, you meet Saria out front, and that's when you learn about the sages. And I guess you meet the light sage coming out of the temple of time, but now you realize, okay, these are going to be, for the most part, I think save one people I know already that are going to be these sages, and
which is really cool to me, by the way. Like
it is.
I think it's so cool how so much of this game, like as an adult, it is informed by stuff that you did as a kid. So it's like the more effort and time and like the more bought in you got as a kid and like explored the world and talked to everybody, the more impactful things are as an adult when you're reflected on. It's like, oh, Saria's the sage. I have a connection with her. Like all the callbacks just work so well once you're an adult.
Sorry, I'm listening to Austin, and I'm like, is he giving life advice, or are we talking about a video game? Just like,
hey, it's just you really gotta buy into your childhood. That's what I'm trying to say.
You gotta socialize, build a community.
Right, exactly.
That's all Link's really doing
exactly.
is building the community.
Build your inner circle. A variety of people in your circle.
All the sexy fish people in your circle.
You gotta have at least one freak, in your circle. So I thought it was interesting that every time you save one of these sages, they're like, here's this medallion that will add my power to yours. I'm like, oh, what's it do? Oh, nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like adding your power to mine. I thought what they should have done is instead of there being one fairy in one place that doubles the size of your magic meter, each of these should have increased your magic meter a little bit. That would have been a fun...
That would be cool.
But ultimately, it's just misleading dialogue, and they're all just to build the bridge at the end, which is cool. I mean, not a problem.
Look, you needed to wait 20 more years for them to have like sage-specific powers in a mainline Zelda game.
Right.
So after this, I'm trying to remember what the breadcrumb is. I think Navi just keeps saying, like, those are some pretty ominous clouds over Death Mountain. Don't remember those being there the first time around. So you go there, you go up to the top, you notice that the Goron village is more or less empty. Austin, this is where I texted you and was like, I think this is the first time I have been frustrated during this game. Because I was trying to be too smart for my own good. So I know that you have to go to the top, and it's, like, hot, and you can't. I'm like, okay. Well, you got to go buy the vest. I remember the vest. I remember the vest from when I was a kid. Like, both me and Link as a kid. So I go down there, and it's closed, and I'm playing Zelda's Lullaby, and I'm shooting the bombs, and it won't open. I'm like, okay, maybe you have to buy it as a kid, but you just can't equip it as an adult. So I go back as a kid, and I come all the way back there, and it's like 200 rupees. I'm like, damn, I don't have 200 rupees. So I go get 200 rupees. Then I come back and it's like, sorry, this item's not for sale. I'm like, wait, what? It's on your fucking shelf. And I was like, okay. So then I come back and I'm like, there must be a way to get into this thing. And I don't know why I didn't decide to interact with the one Goron who is still left in the city. Because it turns out that's what you do. You throw the bomb, he blows up. His name is whatever you name your character because the leader of the village decided to name his son after you, which is like a cool little touch.
Yeah.
He gives you the free vest, which I was like, why isn't it in a shop? If you just get it for free. Now, of course, it's because there's like a couple enemies in the game that can steal your vest, and I guess if you have to buy another one. But... So, finally moving past me outsmarting myself, I get to the fire dungeon. I really liked the fire dungeon. I thought it was cool how the little flame keys, or the small keys, are in little prisons, and they're always in the prisoners area, so it's like, every time you see one of those, you're like, okay, I know that's where the next key is. Let me figure out how to get in there. There's a huge vertical, like 3D keeping track of the space in your head element to this dungeon. And you know from the beginning that you have to get to the top and unleash this pillar to get to where you saw, I forget his name, the leader of the Gorons, like go into the... He doesn't need the boss key for some freaking reason. That's fine. Wish he had taught me his thief skills before he went
he's just baller. Right. He just like busts down the door, but then like puts it back up so that you can't get in.
Yeah. I liked this one a lot. There's cool moments where you're navigating these kind of flame puzzles, and the camera will zoom out so you can avoid the boulders, and you get the Megaton hammer, which is just a big ass hammer, man. And
it's a cool item, even if it's like not that useful. I feel like it's just so cool. Like
there's like rusted switches you have to hit, and there's certain rocks that bombs don't blow up. But then other than that, that's like the end of its uses.
Right. And I mean, you need it for the boss, but you need everything for the boss.
I was going to say, my most memorable moments with the Megaton hammer are with the boss and the boss in general. What did you guys think of the Flaming Flame Dragon boss?
I liked it.
I love, I can't remember his name. It's like Volvagia or something like that. Yeah. But I love this boss. It's so silly in the concept of like, it's just whack-a-mole. But like, I love that for some reason. Like
he looks so cool when he pops out and he goes through the air. He's actually he does a ton of damage to you. Like when he pops out, if you don't hit him quickly enough and he shoots out the flame, that shit's like a third of your hearts at that point in the game. It's actually quite a bit.
It will mess you up. This is where, as a kid, I discovered what fairies actually do.
Right, yeah.
I did not realize that you die and they pop out.
You thought you would just
had
use
to
them?
like use them.
Right,
Yeah. So I have a core memory of like, oh no, I died, and then the fairy comes out, and I was like, no way.
I think at this point in the game is when you're really starting to see the like scale and scope of everything too. Like Phantom Ganon, like coming in and out of the pictures and stuff is really cool. And then like a flying dragon, like it's like whoa, like for N64 era stuff with like no pre-rendered backgrounds, like we were talking about earlier. Like this is some really intense scale and like scope that they're working with. So I thought you really got to see some of that here by this point of the game. I also really like the Fire Temple. It turns out to be one of the like less memorable ones for me, but it's like it's just good all around. Like it's just a really solid like good puzzles. It's not too hard, but it's not too easy to solve. Like it's just a really solid dungeon all the way throughout. It feels a lot like Dodongo's Cavern in that way. Like it really echoes that Dodongo's Cavern energy.
Yeah, it almost feels too much like Dodongo's, I think, from an aesthetic perspective, and maybe that's why it isn't quite as memorable. I feel like the Forest Temple, it feels like a castle in the forest instead of the inside of a tree, right? And the Water Temple feels like a sunken temple instead of the inside of a whale. This kind of felt a lot like Dodongo's Cavern with prison cells.
Right, like this could have just been another cave. Like it's not really. It doesn't feel as much like a temple as some of the other ones do.
Yeah.
But there are some good puzzles, especially like switches and stuff, like shooting arrows at switches to cross gaps and stuff, and like bring down firewalls and everything. Like there's some solid puzzles here. Again, it's so much of like what I was talking about earlier with like there's a thing over here that you need to get to. How do you get there? And like solving that element of getting to it, you know?
The switches that you at this point have been just kind of hitting and they do things. There's like 3 or 4 in here where you have to throw a bomb at it so that you have enough time to go do the thing that it's setting up. And I thought that was really cool. And it also, I just thought it was neat because it was like, where do you get the bombs the first time? The fireplace and the kid, right? So it's like echoing that's going to be a useful tool for this one. I thought this all came together really well. It was a great temple. Next temple. Well, actually, the worst part about the Water Temple might be the ice caverns. So it's like
it's true. It's true.
You don't like the slip and slide puzzles?
There's not one 3D platformer in which slip and slide is something I enjoy to any capacity at all.
You just gotta shove it. Make sure you're shoving it in the right place. And,
and then you roll. You try to roll, but you just roll in place. Oh God, fucking kills me. They're really not that bad as an adult. I remember absolutely hating this as a kid, especially because of the wolf in there that you have to fight.
Yeah.
Now that I know you can just sidestep, jump slash it twice and it's dead, it's kind of a different story. But as a kid, I'm just sitting there with my shield over my, like, oh my God, don't kill me. But you go to Zora's Domain again, because you know that I can't remember what the breadcrumb is here. I think Navi says something about, like, Hyrule Lake sure is looking pretty not there right now. So you go to, like, I remember going and thinking I could use the shortcut. Well, it's a wall of ice. That's interesting. So then I go back to the riverway, and you get in there, and everything's frozen. And King Zora's frozen in this red ice, I guess.
Yeah.
And so is the shop that used to buy. But you go out to where Jabu is. He's gone now. But there's these platforms of ice that are leading to this cave that you could not get to as a kid. So it's like, okay, you go in there. This really wasn't all that bad. I thought, especially this time around, I was much more equipped, like as a 36-year-old man, to do all the mechanics in this part. But man, so there's this blue flame you have to get to melt the red ice, and I warped out of there after finishing it without any flame, and I realized that I couldn't get into the shop to get the tunic. But I had already warped to the lake where the temple was. So my thought was, okay, I'm going to go into the Water Temple and just see how far I can get without the vest. Turns out you don't need it. It's actually not that hard to beat the water temple without the blue vest at all, because the hard part of the water temple is not the 90 seconds it gives you underwater. It's figuring out how the hell to get to the 3 fucking rooms where you change the level of the water. So I think there was one time I ran out of air, but I had a fairy, so it didn't matter. Otherwise, it like really was not that much of a problem to not have the water tunic. Austin, you mentioned to me that in this one there are these little like colored light pathways that kind of
Yeah.
show you from the front of the entrance of like the path you need to take to get to the rooms to raise the water up and down.
Yeah.
So it's like way easier to find them in the 3DS remake. Otherwise, I think it's more or less the same dungeon. But just having those, one of them's pretty easy. It's always in the center column. But God, finding the one at the top and the one at the bottom was so much easier this time around. And
Yeah.
I actually ended up, dare I say, enjoying the water temple because it felt more like a puzzle that I knew how to solve as opposed to like an old adventure game pixel hunt of like, where the
Right.
hell do I need to go?
Well, also, and one of the most annoying things that the Water Temple did in the original is the constant going in and out of the menus to equip the iron boots anytime you
Yes,
use the
that's right.
sync. This game lets you hotkey the iron boots in the 3DS version, and it makes it so much better. Like, that annoyance is completely gone because now you can just click a little button, or if you are crazy enough to put it on one of the face buttons, which I never do. But you can just touch on the touchscreen to like use the iron boots. Makes it so much easier. And it really encompasses that like this is really probably the biggest example of navigating through this temple and like finding the next area in the whole game. Because there's really nothing else to it. Most of the puzzles are just which level do I need to have the water level at to get to the next room with the next key? Like that's so much of this temple.
I think Yeah, and it's really what makes it so frustrating and gives it the reputation of being incredibly difficult is that you're not doing a ton of unlocking new areas or picking up new items. Actually, is there any kind of new item in this temple?
You get the
It's
long
like-
shot. You get the longer version.
This is where you get the long shot? Okay. I couldn't remember if you actually got it in the water temple.
You do,
but
yeah.
even that is just a modest upgrade. Like, you got the Megaton hammer before, that's new and different. Before that, you got the bow, which is the best item in the game. And now the water temple is like, you're sinking, you're floating. There's not a lot to it. It's very tedious. But all of that said, it has, in what's my mind, the most iconic fight in the game, which is the mirror link in the mirror room. So you go into, it's basically the dungeon's mini boss.
Yeah.
It is the dungeon's mini boss.
Way more interesting than the actual boss, mind you.
Correct. This is so it's certainly the most interesting mini boss in the game, where you walk into this like giant like white. It looks like everything has shallow water on it, and there's just a tree in the center. And you eventually walk deep enough into the room and you turn around, and behind you is essentially your shadow. Your shadow has decided to come and fight you and take you down. And so the whole game is a mirror match where the opponent literally mirrors your attacks and your input commands, and you have to figure out how to defeat the mirror version of Link, which honestly, the last time I played this, I did very quickly, and I can't remember what. You guys have played this fight more recently than I have. Tell me the nuances of Mirror Link.
Austin, you might be able to explain it better. I can explain the cheesy way that I
I'm
destroyed.
about to say, I cheese this fight almost every time. Like,
Let me rephrase it. This most iconic mirror match battle where you just can't quite figure out how to defeat, your version of Vegeta or whatever. How did you guys crush him?
right.
So, going back to things I had no recollection of this game whatsoever, if you hold R to block without Z targeting and then attack, you do like a quick little stab. I had no memory of this technique whatsoever. Turns out, I don't think Shadow Link does either, because he has no idea how to deal with it whatsoever. He will just run into it over and over and over. So that was probably the easiest way. You can basically like, if he's moving at you too fast, just throw on the iron boot so it slows him down, and then just like line up perfectly with your shield, then take off the iron boots and just stab him.
I want to say that he does he only mirror your Z targeting abilities, or does he mirror everything you do?
I'm not sure. I know he kept, most of my techniques up to this point weren't working, which is why I resorted to this, because he kept just like hopping on the blade or back flipping out of the way. And the thing where he like hops on the blade and taunts you and then hits you before backflipping away. That looks so cool.
It's sick. That is a sick animation.
It's so fucking cool, but also so frustrating. It's talk about a moment in the game where I was like, oh, he's just better than me. Like, what am I supposed to do? He's me, but better.
Right. Like, this guy he's better than me. I suck. That's all it is.
And the answer is don't play him on, at his own game. You can't have this fight on his terms. So I usually do shit like try and hit him with the Megaton hammer. What did you do?
I just get lucky most of the time, honestly. Like if you like sidestep, if you hit the right angle, or like you hit right before he swings or something, like I always just get the hits in right around him. It feels like, and it's like it's honestly almost luck most of the time when I do this fight because I've never like figured out the right pattern, And maybe there is no right pattern. Maybe that's the point.
Well, yeah, because talk about a simple thing, right? Because the game is just literally mirroring your inputs to you on this character with a couple of cheats, like the fact that he can flip onto your sword. So the first time I beat this fight, which was by dropping the Z targeting and just spamming slashes kind of off to the side, because he'll mirror you, and if you do it in the right way, it'll happen in a fashion where he'll miss you, but you'll clip him.
Right.
And if you do that enough times, you will finally fucking kill him. It was the most ridiculous struggle of my childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I did it as a kid.
Yeah. Honestly, it was probably Nintendo Power that helped out a lot, but
you call the hotline. I think what you're maybe supposed to do is use the iron boots to limit his mobility, because that stops him from moving very far, right? And then
I don't think I've ever once done that. That's wild. Okay.
Now, granted, the thing is, on the N64, I probably wouldn't have thought to, because you have to go into a menu, and I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
I'm in a fight. Yeah.
Right. But on this one, since you could toggle it on and off, I think I might even just accidentally hit it, and I was like, oh shit, look, he is slow too. That's interesting. And I was trying to throw bombs at him while he had the iron boots, and he couldn't get away from it. But dude, I struggled so hard to put bombs where I wanted them to in this game, tossing them. I think I hit myself with bombs more often than these, for sure.
It is tough.
So I did damage to him a couple times that way, and I thought this might be a very legitimate way to kill him. But then once I realized my little stab exploit, I just did that instead.
Beautiful.
The fact that we can talk about this fight for as long as we did just shows you that it should have been the actual boss, because the actual boss of this dungeon is so bad, dude.
Yeah, someone decided the boss had to be actually thematic, and I guess related to the item you got in the game, the hook shot.
Garbage.
But talk about something I don't care about. Mirror Link is just so much more fun. It's clearly inspired by the Japanese samurai fights that all of the one-on-one battles are vaguely referring to, and then this one literally sets a scene because the whole room looks like something out of a Japanese painting from the early modern era.
So it's actually interesting you say you don't like the hook shot, because once I got the long shot, I basically stopped using the bow, because it does the same amount of damage, and it does damage to things the bow does not. However, this came back to bite me later with the friggin' Gerudo guards, because I didn't even think to shoot them with the arrow, and it almost the whole damn thing without that.
Doesn't that make it significantly easier?
Yeah. It went from the most annoying thing in the whole game, bar none, to something I did in about 2 minutes. But we'll get there.
I was like, Adam, shoot it with a bow. And he's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. But this boss was frustrating because, I think the basic idea of what you're supposed to do with it is simple enough. But at this point, I'd gotten very used to my technique of, you can kill any boss in 2 cycles by doing the jump slash, because it does so much damage. Well, this little thing, you could do it once and it would get away, and then you would be lucky to get it once. So I was doing the normal stab, fucking normal stab. And then on top of that, just trying to get the timing of your hook shot with it going back and forth through the tentacle. Sometimes it would just miss. Yeah. And I have to wait a whole nother little phase for it to be vulnerable again. And then I'm not watching my back, and another tentacle comes up and puts you in this annoying locked animation. The second time I died, not game over, but died, was the water temple boss. I think I took more damage, though, backing up into the fucking spikes, trying to line up my hook shot. Yeah, this boss sucks.
And then the camera can get really wonky, too. When you grab it, and it's over here, and your hook shot's now at a 90-degree angle to your right. It's not supposed to bend that way, but it does anyway. Then the camera freaks out, and It's so bad. It's an awful fight. For as much as I love this game and it's my all time favorite and all that jazz, this fight is ass. Like,
Yeah, the water temple sucks. This might even be why, like, so back when we were playing Metroid Fusion, listener, go check out that episode. All of the little like globs just gave me flashbacks to the fucking amoeba, and being unable to hit it properly. Like whenever I would like push the buttons wrong and Samus wouldn't shoot in the right spot, I was just like, oh god, it's the amoeba fight all over again. I don't want to be here.
I really don't think Water Temple is as bad as I remember it as a child with the 3DS like upgrades with the iron boots with the markings on the doors. Like I think those things really help this temple be more of an intriguing puzzle than it is a frustrating like nightmare, test of my patience. But it is still, I would say, probably the weakest of the dungeons in the game.
If it wasn't for Mirror Link, like I would be endlessly dunking on this dungeon.
Mirror Link does redeem it. That's such a cool fight.
Yeah. It's a cool fight for sure.
It really makes me wonder because it doesn't necessarily thematically fit. I mean, I guess it's kind of got like that shallow water aesthetic, but I'm like, did they just stick this here because this dungeon sucks and you have to have something cool?
So it's interesting. So after this dungeon, this is really the first point where I felt like I did not quite know where to go next in this playthrough, because up to this point, like between Navi and playing Saria's song and talking to her, they give you pretty good hints about what to do next. This is where Navi just starts saying, "Hey, we should find someone that knows about the sages," and you're like, "Wow, okay, thank you. That's helpful." And Saria's like, "You may need to go back and forth in time to meet the rest of the sages now." And what she's referring to there is how you need to go to the bottom of the well as Kid Link, but you have to go into the fucking village first as Adult Link to trigger all of that. I wasted so much time trying to figure this out. I had a vague memory that like the well was next. I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I was like, I'm going to the desert. So I go to the desert. I realized that like, there's like the mirage or whatever. You can fall into the quicksand. Well, you can hook shot to the flags pretty easily. So I get all the way to the point that's like, you need the shadow thing to proceed from here. And I'm like, okay, god damn it. So then I go in, and on my way back, I get like captured by the Gerudo guard or whatever. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing this. I guess I'm doing this prison thing. As I was talking about before, I didn't realize you could freaking shoot them with the bow. And this took me like 2.5 hours of just agony trying to find my way through this. Luckily, the Gerudo guard ladies, Jeff, you're saying, are such cool enemies. And they are. They don't know how to block a jump slash at all. They have no idea what to do. So they were easy. But yeah, dude, I did not like this stealth section compared to the Hyrule Castle one. I thought that was a much better instance of stealth mechanics.
100% agree. And I think a big part of that is the perspective that you were talking about with the castle section. Like this, you're trying to like Z target around corners to try and like line up the angle to see where they're at. It's so hard to tell where they're looking sometimes because it's like, okay, I don't see one, and then you walk out and it's like, oh, you've been spotted. And then I think this one's really frustrating to me because like the layout of this area sucks. And this would be the best place to have a map, and you just don't get a freaking map. It's like the one time in the game where I could really use a map, and there's just no map. And it's like, ugh. And it took me forever to find that like door at the top that was like kind of off on its own little platform, and it's like, okay, that's the one I have to go to, but it took forever to find that last like cell.
Well, when you figure out how to you hook shot your way up to that chest where the heart piece is and then climb on the roofs, you feel really smart. You're like, oh yeah, I think I figured this out. But the one door up there that you have to get in from that way, because the rest of them you can ultimately get to through other paths. But the one that you have to get in through the roof is the most tucked away, hard to see in a corner, hidden from any normal human angle you would be looking at. Oh god, it killed me. But ultimately, like, it wasn't that bad once I could kill the Gerudo guards, because I was like, well, no, I just have plenty of time to explore and figure out where I'm going, as opposed to just being captured every 30 seconds constantly by someone I can't even see on my freaking screen.
Well, what I think is really interesting about this segment is that this is the only time I believe in the game that you could do things like out of order. because you can go to I did the Shadow Temple first. I think you did the Spirit Temple first.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I always do Shadow Temple first. And I always remember every time I do that the medallions are in the, like, proper order, I guess, for lack of a better word. And I always get the Shadow one first. And I'm like, did I do something wrong? Like,
this kind of reminded me of our Pokemon episode, thinking about who was it, Sabrina first, or was it the other guy first?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it is weird because you go to the village and Sheik is like, Impa's the sage. You're like, okay, slow down. Like, what's going on here? But then you do the well thing, and you need the mirror thing. What is it? The eye.
The lens of truth
to get to the Spirit Temple.
Yeah.
But Sheik immediately gives you the song to warp to the Shadow Temple before you even go down the well. So it's weird to me. And also, by the way, if you go do the Spirit Temple first, the whole time, Navi's like, have you tried playing that Shadow song yet? So it is so bizarre that the order of the medallions is Shadow last, because everything about what the game is telling you to do is play the damn song and go to the Shadow Temple.
It's
so
really
I thought
weird.
That's really strange. I only did it backwards because once I got the eye, I thought to myself, oh, that was the thing I needed in the desert where I got all the way there. So let me go back. But then as I'm going back, I notice that she just keeps telling me, have you played the Nocturne of Shadow yet? Have you played the Nocturne of Shadow yet? So what does the game actually want you to do here? I don't know. It doesn't matter because you can do either one, like you said. But yeah, I'm with you. It's very strange the way, like, it's kind of schizophrenic about what it wants you to do next here, and you can ultimately do either one anyway.
Right, and it's like it wants to lead you to Shadow, but that is technically the last one. It's like weird.
Yeah. Well, why don't we talk about Shadow first then, since you did that one first?
Yeah, I love Shadow.
I don't think I actually hate Shadow as much as I was complaining about it finishing it a couple nights ago. Because I was being a friggin' idiot with the last boss, but we'll get there. The sort of gimmick of Shadow is once you get the lens, there's a bunch of stuff in here. Fake walls, invisible floors, invisible chests. And so the whole thing is like, you gotta use the eye to do this. None of it doesn't feel as much like you're solving a puzzle to me, I think, as a lot of the other stuff in other dungeons. It feels more of just like, let me put up the lens and look around. Which, like, I mean, you could argue as a puzzle, but I think just personally, I liked the other type of dungeon puzzle solving compared to this one. But it's a neat idea. And you get hover boots, which aren't nearly as cool as they sound, unfortunately. But you do get hover boots.
Oh, I was a huge fan of the hover boots. I don't know why. It just felt, I don't know. But by this time in the game, I think I had grown like overconfident in everything, and so I was looking for a little bit of that danger and panic again, and like being out over the edge, you kind of can't quite tell. I mean, you should be able to tell when the boots are going to go out, but it's always like, oh God, am I going to make it? It was just a lot of fun to me. I liked the Lens of Truth. It felt like a straightforward and like easy way to put like puzzles in a dungeon, because it's not like you're looking for secret switches or traps or anything. It's just like turn on vision mode, turn off vision mode. And then you can slide around on the hover boots. But I don't know, the Shadow Temple and the Spirit Temple, for that matter, are the parts of the game that I've played the least, because they're at the end, right? Like, I think I had everything up to the Water Temple like memorized practically, but not Shadow and Spirit. Maybe that's just because those mechanics are a bit less engaging. I don't know. What do you think, Austin?
I think what I like so much about Shadow is it has a little less to do with mechanics and more to do with aesthetics and just the design of the temple. I think there's like guillotines and like just like really dark imagery throughout this temple
everywhere.
There's this like boat of the dead, this like, you have to hop on this ferry that like ferries you across the river of the dead, basically. Like just some really like crazy dark imagery and really ominous like environment design that I think is so different than anything you've seen before. Like, you kind of get hints of this stuff with like the Re-Deads in Market Town, and the bottom of the wells kind of got some weird creepy shit going on. But like Shadow Temple's like, this doesn't feel like a game that's rated E10 anymore. like these are some crazy concepts to be dealing with, and like kind of dark imagery.
Yeah.
And I think it's also it's different than all the other temples. And we were talking about like the fake walls and the random pitfalls and stuff. Like it's doing something unique that I don't think any other temple has done, nor does the Spirit Temple really do. So I like that it's a bit of a twist of on the rest of the dungeons throughout the game.
And I have a weird fondness for this boss. I think the fact that you are on, I think his name is literally Bongo Bongo.
It's literally Bongo Bongo. I love Bongo. It's so stupid, but I love Bongo Bongo.
It really is. It's extremely silly. I don't know. I like trampolines, and it was like your character was on a trampoline the whole time. It was very silly. I like the giant disembodied hands as like a boss. I think Nintendo likes to do that a lot. It's a boss in Super Smash Brothers. It's sort of part of the boss of Star Fox 64. And so here we have giant disembodied hands again for our protagonist to fight. And I don't know. It's just always a good time. It's such a fucking creepy dungeon, right? Or at least it's supposed to be. But at the end of it, it has this ridiculous voodoo-esque bongo drumming monster. And I'm just like, this is fucking hysterical. Plus, nothing will piss me off again after the amoeba fight in the water temple. So it was a good time.
Everything you do with the lens is better in this than the well, I think.
Okay.
100%.
The well felt like really annoying when you fucked up something you were supposed to use the lens for. This one wasn't. I mean, there was a lot of sections where if you fall off a pit, you start surprisingly far back, and I would always forget about the Skulltulas, and I'd run into them. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wait until it turns around and hit it with the sword. And there would be like 3 of these in a hallway. And so I would think I was getting really frustrated. And then Austin, I'm sorry, that boat is my single least favorite 60-second span of this entire game. It's not even close.
It's not that bad. I don't know.
It's awful. Those skeletons are legitimately the hardest enemies in the whole game. I don't think there's anything that is so capable at blocking your attacks as the skeletons. And there's something to do with the way the boat's moving, that their arcs keep going around your shield. I was just never able to block their sword swings. The Shadow Temple is the first time I actually saw a game over screen in my playthrough, and I saw 3 of them. So you can imagine how frustrated I was. Although part of that was, this was easily my least favorite dungeon in the game until Austin just gave me a couple hints. He was like, "Hey, all these things you're saying about Bongo Bongo, nothing I've ever dealt with. Are you sure you're not just kind of being an idiot?" It turns out I thought you had to use the hover boots. I thought that was the thing because he kind of bounces you around. Turns out, no, not really. It just makes it harder to dodge things. Secondly, I thought you couldn't use the bow with the lens up because you can't use fire arrows with the lens up because they're 2 magic things, and I always had the fire arrows equipped. So I was can't use the damn bow. What am I supposed to do damage to these hands? Just dodge their attacks until I get a little window of opening? Turns out, when I went in there with the right knowledge, I beat him without taking a single hit because you can shoot both of his hands with the fire arrows, turn off your lens, then just charge up a sword slash for when he comes at you. And it's that easy. It was so easy. I was like, oh my God, I feel so dumb. I've died to this guy 3 times. And now I just beat him without taking a hit, right? So I don't know. I think it was maybe just a lot of this is definitely a skill issue on my part. I'm not going to deny that. But not my favorite dungeon.
I mean, that does speak to its intuitiveness as well. If all the rest of the dungeons you didn't have a lot of problems, and then this one you feel like you're frustrating more, it's is that because the game is not feeding you the information as easily, or as somebody who has, I feel like I remembered a lot of this stuff. It was okay, I just know kind of what to do. That was the hard thing recording this podcast and talking about this particular game. So often when we do these podcasts, I'm coming at it from I either haven't played it in a really long time, I don't know a lot about it, I've never played it at all, so I can look at all this with a more fresh perspective. But with Ocarina, I remember so much of it so vividly that it's it's hard for me to analyze how good is the game at teaching you this thing versus how good am I at just remembering exactly what to do.
I'm very much in the same place. I love those skeleton enemies on the boat because you're trapped in a little arena and you're going one-on-one, and it feels like the first time that the game is getting you to do a cool, it's not a duel because there's multiple of them, but
it's a challenge for sure.
yeah and to Austin's point, I've played this game so many times at different periods of my life that it's difficult to come at it with a fresher perspective. I will agree with you, Adam. And Austin, this dovetails with like the menu just being shitty. I try to keep the hover boots on throughout the whole dungeon just because it's so fucking tedious to take them off all the time.
Yeah.
And that routinely ruins my day. And I'm just like, shouldn't have been lazy.
I was about to say, that sounds psychotic.
It's just like a portable ice cavern. I fucking hate it. That's what...
I was about to say, I think the 3DS remake really alleviates the tedium with the hover boots as well, right? It works just as it does with the iron boots because you could just toggle them so easily. So I only ever used the hover boots in the exact moment I needed it, and then immediately toggled them off, which was really smooth, you know?
Yeah, another reason I hated the iron boots so much is that, like, you know, they slow you down so much, and like you're talking about having to swap them on and off is a gigantic pain.
Right.
Truly, the only downside to the 3DS version is you're playing a 3DS. That's really the only.
That is very valid.
The shoulder buttons, what's that meme? Like, what are these made for ants? They're so fucking small.
They
My
are.
fingers were slipping off. And then the way the D-pad is designed, that kept slipping out from under my finger all the time. Like, I'd be running and I would just stop. And I'm like, what happened? It's like, oh, it just like
yours at least probably still has the grip on it. Like mine. I don't know if yours does.
You've worn it off.
I've worn the grip off entirely, so now it's just like the really sleek surface. It's really hard to use the D-pad.
But to you guys' point, like up through the water temple, I was having little moments of deja vu constantly. I know I beat this game at least once back in the day, but it must have only been once, and I must have stopped at the water temple every other time because I had so little recollection of the Shadow and the Spirit Temple compared to the ones before it, especially the Shadow Temple. I at least remembered the twin witches in the Spirit Temple, but I had almost no memory of Bongo Bongo at all. So yeah, I must have gotten stuck at the water temple just a half dozen times before I had to move on with my life to Sega Dreamcast era. But
that really does feel like the portion of the game where the momentum kind of like drags, or it's just you've been through a lot by that point, and it's not quite as clear as like what do you do next. It does feel like a very natural stopping point. Tons of my save files and after the water temple.
I'm about to say it's also probably because Water Temple, especially in the original N64 version, can be so tedious that it's like I don't want to play this game anymore. Because I really think like Shadow Temple maybe less so, just because I think a lot of my enjoyment of Shadow comes from aesthetic and like lore type stuff around it. I think Spirit Temple though is like genuinely one of the best temples in the game as far as like puzzle and theme, and like the idea you do literally half of it as a kid. You literally go to the left as a kid and the right as an adult, and like this kind of element of having to really utilize that time travel mechanic in a new way is so cool.
I think the game would have done well to have more of that, especially since they give you the teleport spells. It's not so tedious to go back and forth, because like in Link to the Past, you have a magic mirror that's just wherever you're standing, you teleport to. You don't have to use it in a certain location. Yeah. And so they were able to utilize that kind of thing a lot more often in those games. So I can't necessarily remember if you do it a lot in the dungeons themselves, but in the overworld, you do it a lot. So I really like that aspect of the Spirit Temple. I wish there was more of that in the game. I thought it was really cool how you went back and forth. I thought the bosses were really cool in this one, or the boss was really. I guess it is two bosses, but it's the one fight.
Right.
But you fight the big night guys for the first time, right?
The
which are
Dark
really
Knights.
cool enemies, because for as often as the enemies in this game, like the path of least resistance is wait. This one, it's like the more aggressive you are, the better, because you can goad them into attacking. So it's like you go in with a quick stab and he'll wind up, then you can just like backflip out the way, and as soon as he misses, you go back in and hit him. And I loved fighting these little night guys.
It's cool because you fight the first one as a kid, and like you're way outclassed. Like the Kokiri sword's not doing a ton of damage. Like he's strong. Like I threw a bunch of bombs at this guy when I was running as a kid. I was like, just throw bombs to blow him up. Like it's a really intriguing fight because you're just so outclassed compared to all the other enemies you fight as a kid for the most part, at least.
the way that you have to reflect the spells back against the two witch bosses. It's like the first couple times, it's like kind of standard. You're like, okay, I get it. I'm just gonna sit here, absorb it 3 times, knock it back. This almost feels too easy. Then on that third phase, where they start mixing up the elements and they can cancel each other out,
Yeah.
and so you actually have to dodge them in order to get the same one 3 times in a row. I was like, okay, that was a cool twist. Like, I thought that was a pretty fun fight.
I was struggling to do as much damage like each phase, so I ended up having to do this one in like 5 phases. It was brutal.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was like really struggling to. I think it was like I wasn't getting to them quick enough, and by the time I got there, like they were already starting to float away, so I wasn't getting as many hits in as I would have liked. So I had to do this one a lot, but this is a fun fight. Like it's kind of like the Ganon mechanic, but with a twist with the mirror shield that you just got in the temple. So like I thought that was cool. A cool twist on a mechanic that felt kind of familiar.
I do think the mirror shield. Once you got the mirror shield, did you guys ever switch back to using your old shields after this temple?
I did once, wondering if that had anything to, because I did the Spirit Temple first, so I was like, does this have anything to do with why these skeletons on this boat are getting their swords around my shield? And the answer is no.
Interesting.
So I had switched back to the Hylian for a little bit, but I think ultimately they're the same thing. Just one is reflective.
Yeah, I never switched back because I might have switched back when I actually got to the Ganondorf fight just for like aesthetics, just for like thematics. Like
I always
like
do
I should
it.
fight this with the Hylian shield, right?
It looks.
You gotta
weird.
have the emblem.
It looks weird to have the mirror shield and the Bigoron sword on you compared to the Master Sword and the Hylian.
Yes,
you just don't. You don't look like Link. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, I really like the Spirit Temple. I think it's one of the best temples in the game, right next to like the Forest Temple.
Yeah, I love the Spirit Temple.
And the Deku Tree, of course. But like of the adult temples, I think Forest and Spirit are the two, like the first and the last, well, at least the way I did it. Feel like the best to me.
So before we get to the finale, there's maybe just a handful of other things I wanted to touch on. There's the Gerudo Training Ground, where you get the Ice Arrow. That's a pretty interesting one. It really kind of forces you to use like your brain and a lot of the tools at your disposal. There's really only that one fucking key that you have to like climb up the net in the treasure room and go through the ceiling to get to. You know which one I'm talking about?
No, I don't think I got that one.
So So here's the thing. I think if you
I never finished the training grounds in this run. Like I have in the past.
Okay.
I didn't actually finish it this run because I couldn't find the last key before the gauntlets. So I was like, I don't know.
Well, there's also to the right of the gauntlet block is a hidden wall that you can get another one in. But I think it's weird too because if you go straight to the left path in the treasure room, you can actually get through it with one less key.
Yeah.
But if you go right first, you can still ultimately get all of them. But it's so hard to tell where this one is. I think the only real hint you get is the last key that you can get, I think, past the strength block. When you get it, you can see on the other side of a net that there's a chest you can't get to, and you can kind of see down and see that it's the treasure room. So that does sort of hint to you that like there may be a way to climb up from the treasure room into like an area. But it's this tiny little hole that you have to use the lens to see like where it is. That was the only one where I felt like, man, the rest of the challenges to get keys felt so cool and so like either logical or combat heavy, and I just really enjoyed it. And this one felt like bullshit. But overall, like the Gerudo Training Ground's a pretty like interesting optional addition to the game.
I would agree. I don't. Did you use the ice arrow at all once you got it?
Literally not once.
Yeah, it's like you get it pretty late in the game. It doesn't really have many uses. Like it's an interesting idea, but it's like it feels like it was in there because they just had an idea and we're like, yeah, we should get it in there somehow. Like
there's some extra content.
Right.
This is in the era of where you can't do DLC, right? So it's not surprising to me that there are extra things at the end of the game that only really make sense if you hang out at the end of the game a lot. Which I'm realizing has become to the end that I have played like the castle, Ganon, Hyrule Castle, probably far more than either the Spirit Temple, the Shadow Temple, or the Training Grounds, because you can just repeat that segment over and over again. Whereas that back half of the game requires you to start over at the beginning if you would like a fresh experience with any of those.
Yeah, then there's like the fire arrow, which you also get optionally, but is way easier, way earlier, and way more useful. So
and it's also
and
like
that's a cool puzzle to figure out. You're just reading an inscription that's like, the hero of light shall stand here and fire like at the sunrise or whatever, and it's that cool cinematic. Like I love that part.
Yeah, no, that's so cool.
It's the puzzle that has taught me to take everything as literally as possible at least once in video games.
Right, yeah.
Just try wait, that's literally all you do? Okay.
I guess that's really it. We talked about the Bigger on Sword quest, which is basically just a huge
it's like a bunch of
fetch quest turn in chain thing.
I do think that one is interesting a little bit because of the certain items are timed, like you have to deliver it before it expires. So
and you can't warp.
You can't warp because it'll reset the timer. So you have to either like hop on Epona or just like run and roll your way to the next spot, which is kind of cool. And it that really does go to show how like tightly designed the world is and how quickly you can actually navigate from area to area if you wanted to.
Oh yeah.
But yet it still feels so big. And I think that's what's so impressive about Ocarina is like the way the game is designed. It still feels like this huge world, but like the distance to cross from farthest point to farthest point is like 5 minutes. Like,
yeah,
it's impressive how that was crafted to be.
There's that little quest by the guy in the carpenter's tent that's like in the Gerudo Valley. That's like, I'll race you here to the bridge in the Kokiri Forest, and I think the first time you do it, he just beats you by a second, and then you have to like beat your time to get the heart piece. I wasn't going to do that again.
Yep.
I was about to say, that was annoying because I did it and like he said his time was like 2:28 and I did it like 1:50 and I was like, I crushed your time, dude. What do you mean I have to do it again?
Like, I lied to you. I actually just broke a new time, 1:50.
Right. It's like, no, dude.
But I just did this so well.
Right,
I don't know where I'm
exactly.
gonna shave off time, so I'm not doing this again.
Like I just optimized this shit and you want me to do it again? No.
So you get to Ganondorf's castle, you go to Hyrule Castle, it's now his thing. The sages build you a little rainbow bridge. You go in and there's like a barrier to the top, but you have to do these there's basically one room themed after each temple. This is fine. I had another frustrating moment that Austin was like, Adam, just do the Shadow Temple and stop complaining. Or the Shadow one. Turns out, dude, there's this room in the fire part where you have to get the silver rubies, you got to get the 5 silver rupees. It's like the red coins in Mario 64, right? But you can't get to one until you get the gold gauntlets, which allow you to move this obsidian thing out the way. Well, the gold gauntlets is the item, I guess, from this dungeon of Ganon's castle. I thought that was just the light arrow. So I'm thinking, there's nothing here. Well, it's in the shadow path. But even then, you can get through the shadow path without getting them. So I'm like, Austin, I feel like if you hadn't told me where it is, I would have just stopped playing. I would have just given up and been like, I'm close enough. We'll do the episode today. Because it's like, there's this random switch in the corner you can hit, but you don't have to proceed in the shadow thing. And the shadow thing's full of invisible platforms and hover boot segments, my favorite. So I was like, I'm not doing this. So I just went straight to the end, and I'm like, all right, Austin, I did the shadow thing. Like, what now? And like, oh, you got to hit that switch. I was like, no fucking way. But you do that. You get through the 6 things. You go to the fight, the ultimate battle. And it's like, Austin, it's like you said before, it's really similar to Ganon's fight in the Forest Temple, where he's flying around. He shoots you with electric bolts. When he is destroying, he's like pounding the ground, destroying the platforms at first. Do you just take damage? I couldn't figure out what to do. Luckily, he just stopped. But like,
if you are standing on one of the 4 corners, I don't think you take damage.
Oh, okay.
That's I always go right to one of the like 4 corners because it's like a flat piece of. It's like stable, I guess. So you're not taking.
Yeah,
damage.
He doesn't.
He's not electrocuting it or whatever. So that's what I've always done.
So Jeff, I don't know if you know how the damage values work on the weapons in this game, but I was looking up some of this, and it's fucking crazy. So the Kokiri sword basically does 1 damage. The Master Sword does 2. The Bigoron does 4. Spinning attacks and jump slashes double all of those. So 1 jump slash with the Bigoron sword is basically 8 Kokiri slashes. Okay, I killed Ganondorf in just like 2. Like the second time I knocked him to the ground, he was dead.
Same.
Yeah, because all you have to do is just jump slash with the Bigoron sword, and it's an absurd amount of damage.
It's insane. It's so fun to watch though.
No, I have not defeated him with the Bigoron sword. I probably did it once when I was a kid, but I I'm too much of a thematic stickler, and I'm like, I'm gonna beat you with my Hero of Time weapons.
And I understand that. I didn't know, Adam. You can tell me this because I didn't want to test it to find out. But you can deflect back and forth with the big Goron sword, or you have to use the Master Sword to deflect.
Oh, you can use the big Goron. Yeah.
Okay. For some reason I was like, I think you have to use the Master Sword to reflect, and I don't know why I thought that. So I equipped the Master Sword to reflect, and then I swapped to the big Goron sword when I went to attack him.
Okay.
But I mean, that's just a small. Like, it just took a second to swap it in, and then I went and continued to wail on him with jump slashes. I remember that fight being so much more difficult as a kid, and it probably was because I was a kid. But it's so easy as an adult. Like,
I remembered having to shoot him with the light arrow. I didn't have to figure that out. I thought maybe I would have struggled to figure that out if I didn't remember. I'm not sure. It's like what you guys have been saying. How do you separate intuitive design from just a memory I have?
Right.
But no, he was cake this time around.
That's funny. I mean, that does jive with the modern games, like Breath of the Wild, and I still haven't even done it in Tears of the Kingdom, but presumably the boss fight will be very easy.
He's actually pretty hard in Tears of the Kingdom. That final fight.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You should go do it.
All right. It finally it took them 25 years to make Ganon difficult. That's funny.
But I love this first part of the fight, just in the like the organ, like when you walk in, he's playing this organ, this like really ominous music. He's all like, scary, and like, I'm gonna use my Triforce of Power, and I finally got all the pieces together, and like the way he just like drops the floor out underneath you, like that stuff is really cool, I think, thematically. And then the ping pong mechanics, right? Direct callback to Link to the Past, where you have to do the same thing. Like, it all feels really cool to me. It's easier than I remember, but I still really like the feel of it.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, it's just so funny that you were worried about having to use the Master Sword when you can apparently use a bottle.
Yeah, true. I forgot about that. Yeah, you can. You can hit it with anything, apparently.
So he goes down. You have I'm such a sucker for timed escape sequences things. So
it's great.
Yeah,
it's so much fun. Especially there's at least a few parts where the gates drop down and you have to like fight enemies quickly. It's such a good time. And again, brings back my favorite skeleton foes. So.
Yeah, and I was wrecking them with the big Goron sword, but I still only got to the bottom with like 35 seconds left or something. And I was like, man, that's actually probably a lot tighter than I would have thought it was.
It's a pretty tight.
It could be
run.
pretty dicey.
I've failed it before for sure. Like I have not made it 100%. To the bottom in past runs for sure. It's tight, and it's so funny that I say that though, and that we say that because like if you watch speedrunners do it, they finish with like 2.5 minutes or some nonsense. It's like, what are you even doing? Like that doesn't even make sense. Like,
look, we're enthusiasts. We're not.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call those people, but they are different.
Ocarina of Time speedruns are so insane, dude. Like yeah,
absolutely.
The like world record speedrun has you do some like weird warp thing that like you go into Goma's lair in the Deku tree, and somehow it warps you to Ganon's castle and like the escape. Like, it's insane. I don't even know. It's like some programming nonsense where if you hit the right things at the right times and like press the right buttons, it'll like rewrite the code of the game and it will like warp you to Ganon's castle. It's nuts.
They're just hacking. You're just hacking.
It's literally crazy.
That's not interesting.
Do you fight Ganon as a kid?
No, you just become an adult. You don't even fight. You don't fight Ganondorf at all. You skip that.
You just
skip
fight the last.
Straight to the escape, and you just turn into an adult.
And then you have, what, 3 hearts though?
Yeah. But
but these dudes don't
the speedrunners, they don't get there. Come on now.
So you get down there and it's kind of like it's the end, but of course, like, haha, he's not dead yet. And I love that the Triforce of Courage and Wisdom are fucking worthless. And the Triforce of Power lets you turn into a demon, but that's fine. So you fight this form. Austin, you were telling me your magic meter, you never got the extension?
No.
Dang, bro. Like, was this part tough? Because don't you have to use the light arrows to stun him?
So you can, and that's what you're supposed to do. The proper way to fight this fight is to shoot him with the light arrows, stun him, and then hit him. What I've always done since I was a kid, because don't ask me why, is I would just get up close to him, wait for him to swing, and then roll under his legs, and then attack him that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Absolutely insane decision making, because if you miss, he hits you for like 5 hearts. It's crazy
he does
how
a
much
lot of
damage he
damage.
does. So like
Yeah.
the first part of it is really easy. Like I didn't get touched. I had the big Goron sword. I rolled under him and I just wailed on his tail and like easy peasy. The second phase, when I'm doing it with the Master Sword, I don't know why it was so much harder, but like I was not able to get under his legs nearly as efficiently. So I had to start using the light arrows to do it the proper way.
Is the so I've read that you only have to deliver the final blow with the Master Sword.
Yeah.
That's probably
when did
true.
you Okay, when did you switch to the Master Sword, Austin? Was it just in phase 2?
Yeah,
or
I
was it,
just
like,
used
as a finishing
I
move?
just used it for all of phase 2 because I didn't remember for
Okay.
sure if you had to or not. And I could have just tried the big Oron sword, and I figured it probably would have worked. But I was like, yeah, we're gonna stay on theme here. I'll do a second phase with the Master Sword.
If you don't
Yeah.
have the bigger on sword, you just have to hit him with the hammer the first time around?
I think so. That's what I've always done. If I didn't have the big Oron sword,
Yeah.
was the hammer.
Yeah, exactly. And you're not crazy, Austin. I've definitely spent a lot more time just trying to like roll under his legs
Okay,
and
perfect.
like around him, because that feels more efficient than like switching into. I'm also bad at using the bow and arrow without like aiming down the sights and stuff, so I don't like using the light arrows. And until I went back to rewatch this boss fight, I haven't replayed it recently. I thought the Breath of the Wild sequence where you like use the light arrows and stuff, that's like clearly like the light arrow is like an instrumental weapon in the Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, it's
And
definitely
I have
always
just
like a peak, like final, ultimate weapon.
yeah, and I've just never found it that iconic, and it's because I spent more time rolling around because I thought that's what the game taught me.
Yeah, right. You just roll all the time.
It is. Rolling is like one of his tools, basically. It's one of his dungeon weapons. Is the roll.
I really love
Exactly.
I really love when you get out of the castle. Even the 3DS version cannot, like, the frame rate just plummets as the castle crumbles because the game just cannot handle such an intense sequence. Like, my frame rate dropped so hard as the castle was crumbling. I was like, this
that
game
happened to me.
This game cannot handle that.
When you shot
too many polygons.
When you shot first phase Ganondorf, like before the tower collapsed, and he would fall to the ground sparkling.
Yeah.
The frames on the DS went to like 4.
Yeah.
But that was fine with me because it gave me all the time in the world to react to getting over there and immediately bigger on sorting him. So it turns out though, you can, if he swipes in the last phase, right? If he swipes those pillars that are scattered around, they break open and have a shitload of magic and arrows.
Oh,
so,
really? Okay.
Yeah, because I actually ran out of magic and I was like, I know he's almost dead. I probably have to hit him once or twice more, but how do I do that? Because I didn't think to roll underneath him. And so in my panic of running around, he breaks one of them open and a bunch of pots fall out. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
That's how.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Well, guys, we've been doing this for a couple hours now. I think if there's any game that warrants it, it's definitely this one. Austin, you always talk about it being your favorite game of all time. I definitely understand why it's at the top of your list. I knew I was going to enjoy it going back. I really did not realize though just how much I was going to enjoy it from just kind of a like game design standpoint and thinking of it in the way that we tend to when we do these episodes. It's just so well done. It's the mechanics are tight, the design as far as guiding the player to the next thing are tight. The aesthetics amazing. We talk about timeless aesthetics. Most of those games we talk about are not from this era. Most games from this era look like garbage. This game is still beautiful, even the N64 version. It's just everything about it is so well done. I think it is completely deserving of like the legacy it has built for itself.
This game has formed so much of my early video game experiences and core memories of gaming as childhood that I very much can't tell like what are my preferences and opinions or like what's me doing good analysis and what's just the fact that I played The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time so early. And what's so cool about this game is that if you go play the modern Zeldas, Breath of the Wild in particular, you can see the through line from Ocarina of Time to Breath of the Wild. It's one thing to do a remake, HD graphics or a remake or whatever of a game, but it's so completely different to take like 20 years in technological advancement and just completely reimagine this world and this story. And it's just so clear that like Breath of the Wild is the Ocarina of Time of its era. And it's just so much fun to be able to see that through line through the games. If you never played a Zelda game, play Ocarina of Time, then go play Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. If you're a fan of the modern Zelda games, go ahead and play Ocarina of Time anyway, just because of how iconic it is and how it's a true masterclass of creating a piece of art on the hardware of the time. It's totally worth the effort.
Yeah, so I've always claimed this game as my favorite for a long time now. It's at the top of my top 100. It's, I always go back to Ocarina as being probably the game that made me realize that games were something special. There's something important. It's not just Mario hopping around on platforms, right? Like, this is an art form, and Ocarina is one of those games that has really brought that to me from the very beginning with the jump down into the spider webs all the way to the final fight with Ganon. Like, it is a really special experience. If you haven't played it, play it. Like, it's a vital game I think that everyone should play. It holds up wonderfully. It has so much history and context, and it informs all the games that have come after it. So many games can draw their origin back to Ocarina, and if you look at every Zelda game to come, its basis is here in Ocarina. So much of video games can trace back to Zelda as a franchise, but especially Ocarina and the first 3D outing. And for nothing else, like, you should do it for that alone, to just see where all this started, and kind of what impact Ocarina has had on the video game world.
Well, that about wraps up our discussion on the greatest action adventure game of all time, the iconic Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
You can find this episode, as well as all of our other episodes, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcasting platform.
And as always, you can find everything we do on our website, gamesgoneby.com.
Here to play us out, friend of the show, Andy Kahrs, with his wonderful slide guitar cover of Zelda's Lullaby. You can find Andy's music on his website, andykahrs.com, that's ANDYKAHRS, or any popular music streaming platform. Signing off for Games Gone By, I'm Adam.
I'm Austin.
And I'm...
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next time.